Welcome to Flex Luther's Dead Zone podcast in the morning at 8 a.m. to prove to his bitch-ass wife he can be up that early.
Oh my god, it's the Bean Daddy!
Welcome to Flex Luther's Dead Zone podcast in the morning at 8 a.m. to prove to his bitch-ass wife he can be up that early.
Oh my god, it's the Bean Daddy!
Oh, it just wakes me up. Get to wake me up. This banger of a song. doop. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that off. Oh, good morning, Aaron. Thanks for joining us. Love you, Michael. I think this is how I'm gonna have to start this from moving forward here. I did not go to bed till like a little after 5, so Daddy's real tired. Yeah, Daddy's real tired, like real tired. Upside is though. Good morning to you as well. Welcome to episode 3 of Flex Luther's Dead Zone podcast in the morning at 8 a.m. to prove to his bitch's wife he could be up that early. 2 hours of sleep, and I can still run through that pretty well. Brett, I don't know. He's supposed to be here. I don't know if he's joining us. If not, meh. If so, meh. But nonetheless, I've got as always my lover, my stepdaddy. Michael, I love you. How are you?
I'm here. I'm here.
I'm surviving with you there.
I'm thinking about why I actually have to prove I can wake up at 8 a.m.
You have no reason to prove that, and I appreciate you still proving that nonetheless. I love you. So we agreed last night. I'll just get this out of the way now. And now I'm gonna have to like create a new intro for it once a month. Every fourth show we will not do at 8 a.m. to give us a break on a Sunday. We have not figured out a time yet. I'm sure Michael and I will sit down and discuss that. But our every fourth show, we're not gonna do an 8 a.m. Showing
because we've got nothing to prove.
Well, it's more so I'm doing that because I love my friends and want them to stay my friends and also stay working with me on this. So, we're gonna do like an evening show once every 4 or so. It's just afternoon or evening, somewhere along there.
That after dark show. Hell yeah.
Ooh, that I'd be cool with. A little after darkness. Yeah. A little Skinamax. Yeah. A little Spice Channel that kicks in for 30 seconds. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for
It's
that.
all fuzzy. Titty
Yeah.
pops out. Hell yeah, that's us.
That was
We're the titty.
we are the titty because we'll be here in the later part of the day instead of so fucking early. Oh my god. Yeah, I love you. Not as much on the after football stuff this week, I think. Mainly because, well, we got jobs and shit. So, we can't always just be on top of everything. More so, we just do this podcast so we can bullshit with our friends. Which brings me to our first sponsor, Dad. This podcast is brought to you by all of us, our disposable income, and free time. Because we are not sponsored. But if you'd like to sponsor this show, give me money. Thank you. Some fun games in football. Some shit we got to discuss from last week's football. There was some crazy things, some big things, some letdowns, some surprises. Got some reviews for gaming this week, since we've kind of built up for the next 30 days of what's already coming out and stuff. So we're gonna actually have some reviews on some of the things we've talked about on the last couple episodes here. Can't lie, I don't really got much for you guys in pop culture once we get to that point, because it was a pretty regular ass week. I got some fun little toys and things that I'm going to talk about, just holiday festivities. And then politics, not really a big day and big week in politics, so we'll see what we have there.
Y'all know what's going on.
Let's jump right into, as always, our favorite, and honestly don't know what I'm going to replace this huge section of the podcast with when the season isn't through. Let's go into our Dead Zone football.
Dead Zone Football.
Dead Zone football. Interesting games this week. Some interesting upsets from last week. And I want to talk about Thursday night's game first. Was the Colts versus the Titans. The now 6-3 Colts versus the now 6-3 Titans. What the fuck happened here? Holy shit. What the First off, dear Titans punter, do not put a shotgun in your mouth and pull the trigger. Please don't. Please don't. The first one, I'll give you that. That was definitely your fault. It was. But the blocked punt, I don't personally think was on you. So please don't put a shotgun in your mouth and pull the trigger, because we're rooting for you here. Not really, but I just don't want somebody to do that, because that would be sad. If you watched this game, the first half, it was guaranteed Titans win.
Oh, yeah.
It was a guaranteed Titans win. They looked exactly like the Titans that we know. Defense was playing pretty stout, and offense was doing what the offense does. Derrick Henry was a little slow, getting a few nice pops, but then he had a couple nice 20, 25-yard runs and stuff.
Still put up a 100-yard game.
Yeah, still did decent. A little slow in the first half, but picks it up. But unfortunately, picking it up didn't matter when there was like an 18-point swing in fucking 2.5 minutes. I mean, it was absolutely insane as I watched the Colts like pull some crazy 18-point swing out in like 2 minutes. It started with a very shitty punt, and I'm gonna go into this punter because I had to learn a little bit about him. But it started off with a shitty punt that the Colts got great yard position on.
Talking about your boy Trevor Daniel.
Yeah. So Colts scored off of that, and the kicker. I felt bad because they just kept panning to the kicker. And he looked like he wanted to just put a barrel in his mouth. It was really sad. Now, 'tis what it is. Again, I'll tell a little backstory to him after this, but immediately following the Colts scoring on that drive from a bad punt, the Titans offense kind of shits the bed. They go to punt again. And I mean, this whole fucking special teams was at the punter. One guy blocked it, and there was a guy right next to him ready to just see where that ball bounced and grabbed it, scooped it up, and scored. This one, I mean, you can put a little bit of on the kicker, and this is why I say it. So the Titans kicker, or punter, sorry, not kicker, punter, fun fact, was apparently a FedEx delivery driver all up until recently when they signed him. Showed up to the first tryout in his FedEx outfit because he just got off a shift. Made it from that like walk-on practice. They took him to the practice squad after he tried out again, this time not showing up in his FedEx outfit. This is a true story. And then they signed him to the practice squad after the second outing of his practice in front of them, his tryouts. They activated him. They benched their punter. They put him in. They say, this is our new punter. This is the guy. He's supposed to have a rocket fucking leg. I mean, he's supposed to be able to just punt this bitch wherever he wants, put it wherever he wants. If there's a way for him to put it within the 20, apparently this is the guy to go to. We did not see that. Now, with that backstory of his, this block punt, you can put a little blame on him. A seasoned actual punter, and what I mean by actual is somebody who's actually been playing the position for years, went through college as a punter, punted in their high school team. I mean, really, that's the Pat McAfees of the world. Okay.
Shout out to Patty McAfee.
Oh, Patty Daddy. He the
Patty
best.
Daddy.
I love it.
His
Well, they actually
fantastic
the commentators said his name after that blocked punt. They're like, oh, somewhere right now, Pat McAfee is dying inside. And he's probably not wrong. He's probably right. I think an experienced football player who is a punter, not a guy they signed, was a FedEx delivery driver. I think he may have seen when he got that ball because that guy kicked it directly into the fucking chin strap of whoever blocked it. I feel like a real punter would have seen this, maybe scrambled out to the side, maybe would have tried to throw it away, because the end result is exactly what happened. They scooped it up and ran that motherfucker right in. Now, we've talked about the Colts defense in previous episodes. I mean, this is a good defense.
Yep,
I mean,
they're playing hot.
Phillip Rivers isn't the reason this team is doing well. He spreads the ball really well. I will admit that. I mean, he like targets like 11 receivers. It's not even like an exaggeration. I didn't even know the Colts had that many fucking offensive players that they could do that to. But he doesn't do bad. He tries to keep the turnovers down. And he does that pretty well, but it's their defense that's really holding everything together. And they definitely showed up Thursday night. You know, the Colts were allowing 290 yards per game. And here's the thing is the Titans defense isn't a fucking, they need a new QB. Well, yeah, Phillip isn't the answer. Of course not. He's got 9 fucking kids and refuses to say that's where it ends.
He's
no
been
one
playing for 100 million years.
Yeah.
We got you.
But the Titans defense is no slouch either. They're actually number 1 in a plus 10 margin for turnovers. I mean, that's really where the Titans failed is they are the worst at allowing third down conversions. And that was actually really evident in this game. And the reason I say is because I found that stat prior to the game and it kind of just stuck in my head. Because the Colts only convert 38% of their third downs. So realistically, the Colts don't convert very well. But the Titans were willing to give them the opportunity with these stats. And they did. I was a little disappointed in the Titans. I wanted to see Derrick Henry pop a nice big fucking 55, 60-yard touchdown run off like 3 times. Which, again, he didn't have a bad game, but it was just a little slow. A little bit of a surprise to me. I really don't like the Colts. I don't want them to really do that well. For no other reason than I just don't like Phillip Rivers that much. Realistically, that stems back to the Phillip Rivers, Jay Cutler days when Cutler played on, I think, the Broncos.
Oh, yeah.
And that, honestly, still to this day, loved it when those two were in the same division. You wanna know why? And never in my fucking 25 years of watching football out of 31 years of living, never have I seen 2 quarterbacks on the field at the same time. That's because they would literally walk out and try to fight each other. It was fucking great. I loved it. Jay Cutler's bum ass and fucking Phillip Rivers' 9 kid having ass ready to fucking duke it out. I miss those days. Now Jay Cutler just gets told what to do from that girl, Lauren whatever, from the MTV stuff.
Kristen Cavallari?
Is that her name? Sure.
I think so.
I don't know. That sounds right. I wasn't really into the whole like Orange County MTV shit. But you sound correct, Michael, and I'm going to believe you because, well, who gives a fuck about Jay Cutler?
I'm literally, this Google says, and I quote, "What is Jay Cutler doing right now? TV show Very Cavallari is what he's doing right now."
Yep, so he's living
on
off of
his
her
wife's TV show. Yep.
Okay. You know what I really hated about Jay Cutler while I'm on the topic of shit like this? He wasn't even that bad of a quarterback, but he didn't play for the fucking game. He played for the paycheck.
Oh yeah, he wasn't that bad, but he wasn't that
What?
great.
No, he was.
wasn't great,
He was, but I mean, he could have been better because somebody with a mindset where they're not playing for the check, but they're playing for the game and the love and dedication to the sport. He could have gotten better, but instead he just Lauren Conrad, is that her name from MTV too? Is that also an MTV Californian blonde girl? I feel like I don't know. I don't know why that name. Okay,
Yeah.
I just wanted to confirm because I just had the name stuck in my head. Nah, bro, they divorced. Well, I divorced Jay Cutler too. Yeah, let's go through some games here. I got Washington versus Lions. So the 2-6 Washington football team, 3-5 Detroit. Kyle Allen out, Alex Smith starting. I mean, I think that alone right there kind of tells you Washington's gonna go down. The shitter.
It's pretty wholesome though. It's wholesome. It's gonna be a wholesome game just because Alex is playing though. If you talk about everything that he's been through and
I
he's
mean,
able to play.
yeah, and I don't hate the guy. I mean, I definitely don't. I just don't think he's that great of a quarterback. I've never thought he was that great of a quarterback. I didn't understand why Kansas or the Niners liked him. He's meh. I just never been a big fan of him, and I think Kyle Allen was definitely a much brighter young talent that I'd rather watch behind the center than. Although it could be entertaining because maybe he like shatters his leg or whatever got fucked up the first time, and we get to see it live on TV. Is that wrong? Am I not supposed to?
No. Oh no.
Am I not supposed to? Am I not supposed to be saying that? I'm so sorry. Listen, listen,
Rough.
listen. Sorry, Alex
Smith,
Smith.
if you're listening, if
Yeah.
you're listening, if you're listening,
I'm sorry. I hope you don't have your legs broken.
he's sorry.
I'm not. I'm not sorry. Fuck Alex Smith.
Funny stat though. He's actually 5-0 in his career versus the Lions. He's never lost to the Lions.
Well, get ready to see a new stat breaker change. You know.
Goddamn! All right.
I personally think that the Lions pulled this out just because it's been so long since Alex Smith played. If your quarterback ain't gonna play great too soon, well, you know, it might be. I mean, Washington is just against non-divisional games this season are 0-3-1. So, are you very confident in his stat against the Lions, or are you going to take how
no?
Yeah, I
no,
think the Lions. I didn't see if Galladay's back this week. Something I probably should check. In fact, probably do it right now on my phone since I have him in one of my leagues. If Galladay is back, that obviously is a big impact. Galladay is looking like he is still officially out.
He is still officially out. Yes.
Yep. So that's a bigger impact there. It's gonna go Marvin Jones Jr. and I don't know, whoever one of their other many countless fucking receivers are. The Lions are definitely favored in this one, obviously, just because again, Kyle Allen was the young talent. I think he is got a decently bright future. Whereas obviously Alex Smith isn't even on the latter half of his career. He is on the step stool because he could fall and break his legs. Is this too soon again? Alex Smith's probably gonna hate me. It's alright, Alex. Just put the call into fucking Ray and Mr. Lewis. Just turn the lights off and appear and stab me. Dennis Quaid will hear me being stabbed with his ears.
Dennis Quaid, Ray Lewis, they'll be waiting.
They'll
be waiting.
Well, you know what? You tell them I'll be waiting in hell. Good morning. Gotta say, I'm super proud of you for being up at 8 a.m. The last 3 Sundays now. Love you. You're the best. Thank you, babe. And I'm glad you stayed home today. So after this, I get to enjoy a wonderful football Sunday for the first time in like a year with my wonderful wife and daughter. So very excited. And to also put up a point, I was up at 8 a.m. and did not want to be today. So thank you. I'm very glad you're proud of me. Also, I'm going to tell Michael you share the same sentiment because I'm proud of Michael as well.
I hate me. I could have just slept.
That's absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct. But then we wouldn't get to spend so much time together. And honestly, bud, I love it.
And here we are.
I do. I love it. Like, we game so much now. We get to do the podcast together. Like, I love it. It's great. It makes me smile. Bucks versus Panthers. So obviously we got to talk about last week. We have to talk about the Saints and the Bucks. We have to talk about how on like the first episode of the podcast ever, I talked about how Drew Brees was the GOAT, how statistically he's better, how Drew Brees, if he had the rings, would be considered the greatest quarterback of all time. Well, folks, I think he just proved it literally in just one game. No one thought Brees would be the one that's carrying that team against the Bucks. And in fact, Drew Brees carved up the goddamn Bucks. I said that the Bucks were going to have a comeback game on defense. Sorry, I was reading comments.
That did not happen.
Yeah, it wasn't a comeback game for that defense. Brady looked like shit. That whole offense that I kept saying was fully staffed and just like remarkably good. I mean, obviously, moving forward, we're not counting them out. But I think it also shows how dominant the Saints are right now this season. Because they have been playing kind of lights out football. And I mean, even the first play of that Bucks Saints game, first play where the Bucks were on offense. God, what's his fucking name? Is it Cam Jordan?
Yeah.
Saints, yeah, for the Saints, yeah. Cam Jordan, first play, when the Bucks were on offense, blows up the Bucks offensive line and just rocked Brady. First play. First fucking play, they came and set the tone on defense, and they really, really held that whole fucking game all night on defense. Not saying the offense didn't do anything. The offense lit it up. Drew Brees specifically. I think he had multiple touchdowns to multiple receivers. Kamara had a touchdown.
4 TDs. Drew Brees with 4 TDs.
Did you see the after game when they were doing like the interview on the field with him?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
His teammates were showing so much love, just walking by, being like, "He's the GOAT, number one," blah blah blah. You know, and you could just see him. You could see this grin on Drew Brees' face, like, "So do y'all believe that I'm the GOAT yet?" Like, there's Brady over on the other sideline, not getting no high fives, kissing people on the lips, doing what Tom Brady does, right? Doing what T12 does. And then here's Drew Brees, Mr. I tore my rotary cuff back in the day and had to have surgery. No one thought I'd be shit. And then here I am with the Saints in the Super Bowl and now a dominant team this year. And he just carved the fucking Bucks up. We said the Bucks were going to win that game. We said it was going to be close. But I do want to point something out. I said that I did not want to make that game my game of the week, and thus made another game. I think it was like the Seahawks-Bills game.
Yep.
Which was a fucking phenomenal game. Phenomenal game. Close, hard-fought, battle to the end. So I'm going to go ahead and toot my own horn on this one and say I chose the better of the games by not just thinking that Tom Brady and a fully staffed offense was going to make them competitive. Are they competitive? Yes. Is there a lot
Were they competitive that day?
Absolutely not. Exactly.
Fuck no. Hell no.
There's obviously still some time in the season, and they're still good. They have a winning record. There's still plenty of time for them to bounce back. But my point being was, I smelled a fishy. Oh, good morning, Cam. How you doing, big sexy?
What up, Cam? What up?
I just had a sneaky suspicion that game wasn't gonna be this game we thought it was gonna be. And that's why I just couldn't make it that game of the week for me that week. And I'm glad I didn't. It was rough. Brady needs a victory this week against the Panthers. He needs it. And not just him, but that offense specifically needs to fucking pick it up this week. They need the lights out on offense.
If Brady doesn't get a win this week, you're gonna find him hanging out with the Titans.
Well, he
Except for
definitely
punter Trevor Daniel. They're gonna be hanging out with each other.
Yeah, like I mean, they need this win.
Fun fact: Trevor Daniel's number for the Titans 12.
Oh no, that is just a bad omen now. Obviously, like we mentioned earlier, the Bucks D, that's back-to-back games where they got fucking lit up. I mean, that defense is not to be fucked with. Where is it? Where's my dirt dog? Is wrong. Okay, it's wrong to think that they're gonna have 3 games back-to-back where they get lit up. In that same token, last week we finally got to see CMC back in action. And guess what happened? I brought up that Teddy, I think, only had 1 300-yard game. Right? Guess what? The motherfucker with CMC in back in play puts up a 300-yard fucking game. The Panthers were a completely different team with CMC in. We talked about how Kamara is like that with the Saints. He absolutely changed back to getting 25-30% of the fucking ball when he's on the field. He absolutely is such a dynamic player that he changes the fucking Panthers like that. Now, with that also being said, CMC's out again. I honestly, I don't have anything good to say about that. That really broke my fucking heart. It did. And it's not that he even had a monstrous game. But when he's on the field, you have to put that into consideration with whatever you're doing. It's no different than when you double team a fucking receiver, a top tier elite receiver, or you play against a stout elite defense. You have to game plan for that, and they had to game plan for CMC to be back. The shitty part is that CMC in the fourth quarter went down, and I think it was, like they said, like a shoulder injury or something. I don't remember.
It's a shoulder. It's
injury. Shoulder injury. That's what I thought. So unfortunately, after Teddy throws the 300-yard game because CMC's in, and it gives him a little bit more control of the ball, because you can do things like play action, but they still have to try to double cover CMC on a play action because they know he'll receive. He catches, he runs, he does it all. He leaps buildings in a single bound. He's a freak of nature, but now he's out again. So we're back to Teddy probably not throwing 300 yards. We're probably back to the Panthers looking like the 3-6 team they are, and I think the Bucks take advantage of it this week with CMC out. And I think this is where they kind of turn it around. I've been giving the Bucks way too much credit, I think, but it's hard not to with the type of caliber players they have, the absolute elite defensive mind they have with Todd Bowles, who reunited with his boy Bruce, which leads me to the next part. The fucking head coach is a genius, and I say that unbiasedly as a Cardinals fan who loves Bruce Arians and what he did for my team when he coached them. He is just a guy. I've had a lot of respect for him for a long time, even before the Cardinals, and that's why I was excited to have him. So it's hard for me not to give him that credit. I think easily the Bucks get a win here, but please, God, fucking don't disappoint me just because I said that. Okay,
I'm gonna have to agree. Bucks do get a win here. They need to get a win.
They have to get a win here. There's really no question about it. They have to get a win here, and I think a banged up Panthers team is the perfect start to turning this around for them. I think we get to actually see a real sample size of AB this time, because he really only had. I feel like Bruce really only threw him out there for distraction purposes, much like what we thought was going to happen that first game with the Patriots last year in him. Which, I mean, he was a little bit more impactful in that game, I think. But you know, when you're down fucking 4 touchdowns against the Saints, you kind of gotta throw constantly and spread it out. So I didn't expect AB to fucking show me what he had at that point, because how lopsided that game was. But I think this week against the Panthers, we do see a little better sample size of AB, and hopefully him and Brady's chemistry is solid.
Takes time, folks. Takes time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep in mind though, this prediction is solely on the fact that CMC is not playing. That CMC is out with a shoulder injury. Otherwise, I honestly, I would take the Panthers.
I would too.
Highly competitive. They're highly competitive, and you know what? They didn't play an under 500 team last week. They played the Chiefs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And held their own. They kept it within 3.
They almost won.
Yeah, absolutely. And and it's funny because I didn't watch the game, but I saw the score. And when I saw the score, I immediately was like, "Holy shit! The Panthers pulled it off." Because the score just showed the 33-30 or whatever it was, but didn't tell me which one was which. So I was like, holy shit, did the Panthers pull this fucking win off against a Super Bowl caliber team? That shows how good Christian McCaffrey is. That literally shows you how fucking, like, his dad, Ed, is gotta be the because I mean, like, he played football, if for some of those that don't know. I want to say for the Broncos. He was a defensive player, right?
Yeah. He played for the Niners and the Broncos, I believe.
Yeah.
I do believe. Yeah.
Sorry. Clean in there. I mean, his dad's got to be fucking proud. His boy is like top tier elite, and I just remember when he came into the league. So I just heard, you know, the Panthers have decided to select Christian McCaffrey, and son of Ed McCaffrey, and I thought about it. I was like, well, I know that name. Why do I know that name? And then I thought, oh shit, because your dad was a fucking superstar. Okay, let's see what you got. And it was great to see this, like, white dude in the South. You know, he's in the Carolinas, playing running back in a predominantly not white running back area of football, and dominated. It was kind of cool. You know who he reminds me of? And I might catch flack for this. He reminds me of Schmaltzy. Christian McCaffrey reminds me of Schmaltz. He does. Just like this hardworking, super, super talented sports player. But like, Christian McCaffrey isn't a slouch. He works hard at it. He dedicates time to it, and fucking happens to also be really talented. So it's just crazy to see how impactful he is. But again, he's out because he got hurt again. So, Texans versus Browns. Sorry, I'm trying to.
I'm taking the Browns. Not much to say about this.
Well, there is stuff to say. Okay, first off, Josh McCown, are you putting that into consideration when you say the Browns are going to win? Are you putting that into consideration when you say the Browns are going to win? Are you putting into consideration Josh McCown? I need to know this. Yes or no?
I don't know if he's starting. He didn't. Watson still played last week.
Did he?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Watson still played last week, and McCown's there, but I don't think he's playing.
Huh. Okay. Well,
they brought him there.
If McCown starts, the Texans win. If the if the Texans start McCown, they win. If not, the Browns definitely are going to take this win. And I mean, you have to. Here's the thing. Realistically, it doesn't matter if Josh McCown's starting or not. Let me point out this: the Browns are 5-3. Their 3 losses are against all winning record teams, and honestly, high caliber teams. Pittsburgh, Ravens, and the Raiders. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, right out the bat, Pittsburgh, undefeated team. They're definitely looking like they're going to a Super Bowl this year. Hall of Fame coach, right? Hall of Fame quarterback. Quite the receiver core. Good running back. I mean, Pittsburgh is the overall solid team right now. The Ravens, oh shit, right behind the fucking Steelers. Right? Like, that's a great team. The Raiders, maybe not as high caliber, but we've seen them play very good football this year. I think the Raiders, and I've been saying it for the last year, I knew Chucky would build the Raiders up, and he's doing that. They look decent, right? Derek Carr's having a good season, for Derek Carr at least. He's having a good season. Could be worse. He could be having seasons like his brother, right? Yeah, let's all fucking. That's what they should really do to scare people, fans of the Texans, is bring Carr's brother back, and then go get like Matt Schaub as well, and then
David.
and then go, yeah, just get like a bunch of those shitty quarterbacks back, and bench Watson for a little bit and see what happens to the Texans. Yeah, I'm with you on this one. The Browns win, Texans lose. It's that one's pretty clear cut. The Browns are a competitive team. They don't need Odell to be a competitive team. They've got a whole bunch, and I think Nick Chubb's coming back soon, which is really going to open that fucking offense up even more. Not to downplay him, Kareem Hunt, but I mean, if you have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb both healthy and viable and able to play, whoa, buddy, that offense is scary. Very scary, with both of those players active, and I mean, they have good receivers, and Mayfield's playing good football. He's staying a little quieter this year. Hell, I've seen him in even less commercials. Proud. I'm very proud of him. Jags versus Packers. So this one I actually do only have the Packers win and Gardner's out. That's all I've got for you guys. I think that's a pretty easy. The Packers are going to shit stomp the Jags and Gardner's still out. We want Minshew Mustache Mania to come back, but unfortunately that's just not how it is. Obviously Packers also a Super Bowl contending looking team. I mean, there's not much to say about that game. Not a lot to say. If the Packers lose that one, we'll have a lot to talk about next week in regards to the Packers in football.
I mean, we don't want them to win. We don't want them to win, being Minnesota. But you know, they're gonna stomp all over.
Speak for yourself. I don't give a fuck if they're leading the division or not. It's not my division to worry about. Dear Vikings fans, what? What? It's like when the Hulk in the show is like walking down the road and the sad music plays. Dear Viking fans, and Minnesota fans.
We'll get to that though.
I don't give a fuck about your team. I do and I don't. But as far as the Packers concerned in divisional standings, Packers are going to win this one. So
easy.
Eagles and Giants, just the worst division ever. It's the worst division ever. Actually, it's not. So I was looking at the division, both for the the NFC East or the AFC East. Hold on,
it's the NFC East. It's the NFC East. It's atrocious.
Yes, the NFC East. It isn't. It isn't NFC East. And mainly because of this. All right, and I'm going to try to justify the NFC East as much as possible, right?
Please do.
Okay, the Giants are no surprise. 2-7, they're bad, right? They are. I've said it for a long time because due to Tom Coughlin and his crypt keeping ways, he not only put the Giants in for 10 years in a position to lose, but the next 5 to 10 years to lose as well. Okay, so that one I'm not justifying. That's accurate. The Cowboys, as much as I hate to do this, I can justify this. Injury. The Cowboys have a team that says, and I know last year they didn't really say it, but I think they were still kind of coming together. The Cowboys have a team on paper that is so talented that they should not be 2-7. That the only reason they are 2-7 is because they are riddled with injury. This is accurate. Without Dak behind ball and under center, Zeke is officially just targeted as they're going to set a middle linebacker to do a fucking spy and sit on him, and then have a corner, if need be, push up and blitz on him every time because they know nobody's going to throw in Dallas right now. I can justify the Cowboys being that bad because of injury. Same with the Washington. I get it. The Washington football team wasn't good. It hasn't been good. It probably won't be good. But they also have been riddled with some injury. Kyle Allen is not a bad quarterback. He's not. So I'm gonna say that between the rebuild comment that I would make for the Washington football team and the don't hate me. I know you do.
I saw the video was off.
I can justify the Washington football team rebuild and injury. The Eagles I can't justify really. They're just bad. They are what they are. They are who we thought they were. Okay. Whoa, go Pack, go. Cam, you're a fucking Packers fan? I did not know that.
He is. Cam, you're hurting me a little bit.
With that being said, the NFC East is bad. Okay. Between them, they have 9 wins. 9 wins between 4 teams in that division. That's how bad that fucking team is.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. The Giants 2-7, only 1 game behind. Only 1 game behind the Eagles.
Right, well, the whole division's only 1 game behind the Eagles. The Washington football team's 2-6. The Cowboys are 2-7. The Giants are 2-7, and then the Eagles are standing atop their division. And this division is part of the reason why we have another slot in the playoffs, is because of divisions like this. Because the Eagles will make it into the fucking playoffs with a losing record, and that's fucking pathetic.
We got a whole lot of season left. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I really don't think they're gonna go on a fucking 6-game run. You know what I'm saying?
I actually think the entire division is going to stay competitive with each other, not with the rest of the league.
That I agree with. I think they do stay competitive within the division, but I think outside of their division,
no, they're gonna get shit on by.
They're gonna get washed by everybody.
But those 4 teams will be competitive with each other. They will all fight for a playoff spot.
Yeah, Daniel Jones will throw like 2 less interceptions when he plays them, and Andy Dalton, if he ends up starting again for the Cowboys, he'll be Andy Dalton for the Cowboys. So that kind of already explains that. The Washington football team, I do think they get competitive if Kyle Allen comes back soon. Like outside of the division, because their defense is pretty good, and Kyle Allen's not a bad quarterback. I'm gonna keep standing by him. He's not. I mean, is he like elite superstar? No, but he does have a cannon. He's a good quarterback. I think if he comes back, they could. Honestly, the Eagles, since they're still hung over from the Super Bowl they won, because they've looked like trash.
This hot ass.
They've looked like trash since they won their Super Bowl. They've been hung over from that victory, and half of Philly's burned down anyways from that fucking win.
Aaron says, "Who did you say was Washington's QB?"
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith is starting. Last week they brought out Dwayne Haskins,
which has been a fail since they drafted him.
He played like hot ass.
As always,
play like hot ass.
You know, when I saw Haskins play a little bit last year, they put this hype around him, almost like he could be a Lamar Jackson type player that potentially could throw better than Lamar. And all I saw was a wasted draft pick.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not even fucking close. And I mean, Lamar is taking a step back this season, but still is leaps and bounds better than Dwayne Haskins. On to the Bengals versus Steelers. I think this is another easy call. The Steelers on last week, okay, we made a deal that if the Steelers lost, we would kiss with tongue on stream. And then jokingly we said we'd do it even if they won. But they did almost. There was a split because I believe it was against Dallas they played each other. They almost lost that game. I mean, they came back at the end and really proved why they're 8-0 right now. And it was against a bad team, obviously. But there was a moment.
There was.
There was definitely a moment where I was like, oh my God, they were like down and having to do the comeback drive to solidify their win.
I was putting on so much chapstick.
Oh, I was just about to say, I was putting on a lot of chapstick. I had some lip balm, some flavored stuff, give a little tingle when you touch it.
I got a mega pulse and
yeah, shucks,
no.
shucks.
Oh, man.
Ben's out. That does impact this game. As much as I don't think Ben Roethlisberger has been that top tier elite quarterback for a few years, he's not. He's always been good though. As much as I hate him, he's always been good. He's also been good at knocking women out in bathrooms and in toilet stalls. So let's never forget that. Sounds like Mixon's out again, which hurts my fantasy. But I mean, the Steelers are going to win this still, I think, because they have a good team. They just have a better team than the Bengals. The Bengals are really washed. I think Burrow has a good game again because Burrow constantly has good games, but he has a bad team.
I'm gonna have to agree. Burrow looks very, very, very good. He reminds me. He reminds me of an Aaron Rodgers. Actually,
He does.
Burrow reminds me of an Aaron Rodgers. He just
quick
doesn't
release.
have a good team built around him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's got a quick release like Rodgers does. Because I mean, it was in Rodgers' early career, and it's still like that. But I feel like this year and last year, the offensive line and how they're running their offense with their coach, kind of changed it a little bit. But you got to remember them first like 5 years. Aaron Rodgers with the Packers, that dude released in like 0.8 seconds because his offensive line was so bad. And Burrow has that same thing. But when you have a quarterback with a fast release like that, you have to have a talented quarterback to not turn the ball over due to that fucking quick release, right? Yep. Rodgers was one of those quarterbacks. I see that with Burrow too. I think I kind of wish I could see Burrow go to a winning team. Because that's when you're going to find out how elite that quarterback is. And I know most people will be like, well, if he goes to a winning team, that just makes it look like he's a good quarterback. No. Because, like, you take like a Russell Wilson, or you take why am I blanking on, like, the best quarterback in the league right now? Not a Drew Brees. Chiefs quarterback. Why am I blanking on this fucking ketchup eating? Yeah, thank you, Mahomes. I don't know why. It's because I got 2 hours of sleep. My brain is fucking fried.
It's because he eats well done steaks with ketchup.
Ketchup on it, just soaked in ketchup. It breaks my heart. But like you could put them on a bad team and they'd still be really good. But when you put them with a really good team, that's why you see the Chiefs put up 40 fucking points a game. Right? Because when you have that talent and you're that talented, you blow up. You just constantly are a fucking force to be reckoned with. I think if Burrow went to a winning team, I think we would see that. I think we would see, like, holy shit, this guy is fucking amazing. Russ not really his first couple years, but when he started to put the team on his back. The first couple years, it was just time and ball management while the Legion of Doom shit on people. But I think Burrow's a really good quarterback. Everything I've seen, I've gone back and watched film of him this season. I think he's great. He's got a great arm. He's very accurate, quick release, but still accurate. And he's got a shit team, and he's doing stuff with them still. I think that's pretty cool. Not cool enough to beat the Steelers, even with Ben bathroom stall Roethlisberger out. I think the Steelers still win that. So, Chargers and Dolphins. Okay, well, let's get this out of the way. It was a good game. All right, it was a good game, but let's get it out of the way. So last week I said what Kyler needed to do to win, and I was pretty fucking close to his stats. By the way, I said he was going to put up about 290 throwing, and he was going to rush for about 100, and he'd have like a touchdown or two throwing, and he'd run one in. That's pretty close to what he did. I think he threw over 300. Oh, he had an amazing game. I said that the way they were going to win was him not to force the ball, was him to just play it smart, and he did. He did all of that. He played very solid football.
Yeah, he played a solid game.
And the Dolphins' defense allowed him to. On the flip side, Tua played a pretty good game. He also kept up because the Cardinals' defense decided not to show up. I thought they would be able to manage a first-time quarterback. They did not. It was not Kyler not forcing the ball or forcing the play. It was simply just defense. Defense on both sides of that ball. Dolphins and Cardinals. They shit the bed. They did not play well. And it is what it is. I was very disappointed to, you get an amazing primetime win against the fucking Hawks. You go on bye. You come back. What did I say? Did I not say Tua? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, you said Tua.
Because Tua did have a pretty decent game, but again, it just boiled down to the defenses. You have a good primetime win against the Hawks, who are a very obviously competitive team. You get a bye. You come back from that bye, and you're playing a more defensive team who's starting a new quarterback. It should have been an easy game for the Cards, in my opinion, but Tua did very well, and the defenses just didn't show up. So I think
it was the Cardinals defense versus the Miami defense, and so whichever team would play less shitty. It was otherwise offensively, Kyler did his thing, dude. He ran 106 yards rushing.
Yep. Well,
106 yard rushing. So no, he played a wonderful game.
He did, and there's only so much he can do.
Little baby hands.
Last year and this year, really for the last, including this year, 3 years, the Cardinals' defense have kind of been in shambles. It started with what was his name, Wilkins, the coach, who was there for like a year. When he changed them to a 4-3 defense from a 3-5 nickel, they played awful. They got rid of him, obviously, and got Cliff. And Cliff started to do the air raid offense. But Cliff's not a defensive mind. And he didn't look for a defensive mind. He wanted to be an air-it-out offensive team, kind of like when the Cardinals went to the Super Bowl. They weren't known for their defense. There was a reason Kurt Warner and Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolton and all them had to put up 45 points a game. It's because their defense was allowing teams to do the same. It's what I'm seeing a lot this year is a phenomenal offense. Absolutely phenomenal, and possibly still number one after last week's game. But the defense is just too poor. And I mean, I can't ask for an elite offense and an elite defense. It's not how it lines up typically. But we got to have something better. P2P, Patrick Peterson, he's aged. He's not as elite cornerback, shutdown cornerback as he used to be. Some injuries have hurt that defense. It just is what it is. But in regards to the Dolphins, they played good, and I think, honestly, they play well this week, too. I wouldn't be shocked to see the Dolphins 6-3 after this week. And, that's not saying anything because the Chargers are bad. They're not playing great this season. Don't get me wrong. They're 2-6. They're not great. Honestly, I think they should be 3-5. Herbert, I like him. I am 100% on board. The only reason they did not win last week against the Raiders is because his offense is awful. His receiver, now the Chargers have one of the best receivers, in my opinion, in the NFL.
Talking about Keenan.
Thank you, Keenan Allen, who I draft almost all the time. The only reason I didn't, every other year I draft him because every other year you might be lucky he doesn't get hit with an injury that takes him out for the season because he is very injury riddled or injury prone when he's out there. It is what it is. But when he's healthy, hands down, I mean, he's like a Mike Evans. You throw that ball towards him, he's gonna fucking drag it down. It came down to one final offensive play that realistically they got to play 3 times. They just got a couple plays off fast enough, and then I think there was a penalty that kind of kept it going for him. Herbert did everything he could do. I mean, he threw the best fucking passes to get that in the end zone and to have his receivers make the play. The problem was he didn't go to Keenan Allen. He went to his other receivers who multiple times in the end zone dropped the ball after getting it. He did everything he could. He looked phenomenal. He looked great. Carr looked good. He didn't look amazing. He looked good. And the rest of the Raiders offense looked okay. They didn't look great, but they did just enough to know that the Chargers receivers are trash, and that's all they had to do. I mean, there was a point where the fucking Raiders were really giving the Chargers opportunity with penalties to get down the field, and the Chargers just couldn't do it, and it had nothing to do with Herbert. He was doing everything he could do. That final play should have gone to Keenan Allen. When I talked about the Dolphins this year, I said that they're a defensive team that they want a ball, like kind of like the Hawks were when Russ first joined the team. They want a quarterback that's going to manage the ball, manage time, and make sure that in crucial moments that turnover ratio stays low. I think Tua is assisting the Dolphins on offense in that aspect, and I think he'll continue to do that very well because they're not expecting him to be this lights-out passing quarterback. They want him to play smart. And, you know, I think the Dolphins pull this out 6-3, and after allegations of tanking last year, I think we can all finally sit here and say that maybe the Dolphins had some crazy plan of action that none of us saw, and it's working. You know, it's working. To blow my nose.
Oh yeah, I can see it. Oh yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, I really had to blow my nose there.
Oh yeah. Drop that boogie sugar.
Yes. What else we got? Bills versus Cardinals. This is my game of the week. I seems to be anytime the Bills or the Cardinals play in a week, I consider a lot of their games game of the weeks because they're playing really well. And a lot of the competitive teams they're going against, they're showing that they can beat. Obviously, the Bills, with a great win against the Hawks last week. I believe that was last week. Yeah, that was supposed to be my game of the week. Great game. And the Bills fucking came out 7-2. And what did I say? Get ready to see them go to a Super Bowl and fucking lose again. And it's gonna be heartbreaking because for now I'm kind of a Bills fan now. I started to like hop on board last season with that defense. I thought that defense was fucking amazing. And this year, no different. I mean, their offense is clicking. Their defense is obviously top tier. Am I obviously rooting against my team when it comes to the Bills? No, I want the Cards to walk out of this bitch 6-3. We need to walk out of this 6-3. If we walk out of this 5-4, I'm kind of having a feeling that the season's going to start getting washed, and I don't want that to happen. So, two potential elite playoff teams going against each other. Potentially even Super Bowl teams. I mean, realistically, the Bills have a higher percentage to get to that level than the Cards, but the Cards could sneak in there. We don't know. What this is going to come down to is defense again this week. That's solely what this game's going to come down to. The Bills' offense isn't elite enough for me to be worried about the Cardinals' defense, outside of the fact that the Cardinals defense just needs to play steady. They don't have to play top tier, just steady.
Yep.
And on the reverse side, the Bills have an amazing top tier defense, as I've stated. Their goal and objective is to just force Murray to make the play. so they can take advantage of it and get some turnovers. Against the Cardinals since 1990, there have been 5 meetings with the Bills. It does not look good for the Cardinals. They are 4-1 against the Cards since 1990. And my final talking point about this game, and it does break my heart, I think the Bills win this one. I'm not mad if I lose to a team like the Bills because they're fucking good. If we beat them, just shows again we beat another top tier team to prove that the Cardinals are a for real force to be reckoned with. So
I will say this: if they beat the Bills, they go on a big run.
I agree. I
They
agree.
go on a massive run.
I think if they can beat the Bills as well, I think the same thing. Here, let's see who they've got. Cardinals schedule. Let's see who they've got here. I'm gonna pull this over. Moving forward here, so we've got Bills and Cardinals. So then we go the Cards and Hawks. That'll be a good game again, I think. This one is in Arizona, I believe, but it's another primetime game. Or no. Is it at the Cardinals this week? I think it's in Arizona this week, and I think it's in in Seattle next week. If I have that correct.
It is in Arizona this week.
Yep. And then it's Seahawks. So they've got the Hawks. That'll be a tough one, but we could win that, especially if we beat the Bills. We're gonna go in with the mindset that we've already beat the Hawks in prime time, and we just came off of a win against the Super Bowl contending team. Then we have the Pats. I honestly don't find that to be an issue. I'm pretty confident we can beat the Patriots. Then we got the Rams. That'll again be a nice tough fought divisional game. Then we got the Giants and Daniel Jones, who is just going to make my defense look like a fucking top tier elite. We have the Eagles in the worst division, probably going to make my Cardinals look top tier and elite. We've got the 49ers, who are, like I've stated many times, really the 29ers because they're a shell of a team at this point. And then the Rams again, which will probably be another tough fought game because the Rams are really divisional killers in the NFC West, outside of their Super Bowl run a few years ago. So, I mean, we have some tough games coming up, but I do agree. I think if we beat the Bills,
you go on a run.
I think we go on a run because I think that confidence just kind of seeps through and through. But if we don't, and honestly, like I said, I do take the Bills to win this to go on to be 8-2, but we can only hope. I'm hoping. I'll be watching that one today, hopefully.
The Bills are playing lights out. I'm gonna have to agree. Josh Allen in the running for MVP for sure.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he's absolutely been playing great. Broncos versus the Raiders. This one was a little rough to. I personally think the Raiders, just because I've given them a lot of credit in the last year or so. I think the Raiders walk out. It is at home, which is going to definitely help the Raiders. Obviously, it's a new stadium, so like the rapport built with fans and that home field advantage does change, in my opinion, a little bit. But I mean, obviously, they've been able to work with it, being 5-3 this year. They've been doing pretty good. Like I said, the Raiders barely got that win against the Chargers. They easily could be fucking 4-4. They could be a 500 team right now. And got lucky that they didn't. On the Broncos side, Judy finally shows up last week and has a fucking tremendous game. And I'm going to be very honest. I think he comes back this week because the Raiders' defense is meh. I think he comes back this week and does it again. I think he has another big game this week. And I'm kind of excited to see it because I think he has not really done what I was hoping he would do. Broncos.
He had 125 yards last week.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He blew up.
He did great finally, and it was about time that I saw that because he is a very talented player. The Broncos are such a bad team. That offense is kind of busted, and they're definitely a defensive team, but they need to figure out something to work on offense so it's not so lopsided.
Drew Lock not playing great either.
No, I mean, but Drew Lock's never played great.
No.
how he even has a fucking position at this point kind of blows my mind. Because and I mentioned last week that John Elway, in my opinion, is one of the worst owners, and Drew Lock is a prime example of that. Because he had a lot to do with Drew Lock, just like he had a lot to do with Manning coming through. Which, I mean, obviously that panned out well for him for the few seasons he had Manning. But even then, John Elway thinks that's what's going to win more Super Bowls. I think the Raiders take this one. I think they beat the Broncos, go on to be 6-3. I don't expect that the Raiders are going to make this big playoff push and be a Super Bowl contending team, but I can see the growth. I can see what Chucky's been doing with the team. I think in the offseason he makes a little bit more moves on the defensive side because they definitely need it. But I mean, he's been getting his team together, and I'm excited to see what he'll do with it. And I think the Raiders take this one, move on to 6-3. So, the Hawks and Rams, divisional game, should be a good divisional game. The Rams really trying to make a resurgence after how bad they were last year, with kind of how the talent pool is in that team, because there is a lot of talent. 5-3 Rams, 6-2 Hawks. I don't really think I can give any real credibility to the Rams that is going to say that the Hawks are going to lose. I think Russ and the boys come out. DK Metcalf just shits on fucking the Rams defense. It is in LA, but against the Rams are. This is the only credit I can really give them. They are 4-1 against the Hawks. In recent years here. So they do have opportunity to continue that streak. Again, Rams, if you are a fan of the NFC West, which I mean, if you're from the Midwest, I don't know why you would be unless you were me and a Cardinals fan. But some people, if you are a fan, everybody knows that the Rams are just divisional killers. They've been divisional killers since Jeff Fisher was coaching, when they would go 500, but half those wins were fucking against their division to fuck up playoff seeding. So you never know. The Rams could pull this off. I just don't see it. I think the Hawks are just too fucking talented. So yeah, I think the Hawks take that one.
I'm gonna have to agree.
Yep. 49ers versus the Saints.
Easy.
Yeah, Saints win. 49ers are too banged up. There's really no
There's no discussion here.
Yeah, I don't have any fun facts or stats that are going to give me any sway on this. I mean, the Saints have been playing absolutely tremendous football. We saw that against the Bucks last week. They're so good. They made people who were all on board with the Bucks being a possible Super Bowl run team now questioning that. That's how good they are. They made fans question if a very talented team is talented enough, because the Saints are so good and just destroyed the Bucks so hard.
They also have the GOAT.
They do. I still will stand by this till the day I die. Drew Brees, statistically speaking, he's just the best quarterback. And he's always been a very humble dude. He's always done it right, in my opinion. A lot of people just hate the Saints because, like I said before, they've been riding that Katrina wave for fucking 10 years. They're still dedicating Super Bowl runs to Katrina. And like I've stated in the past, you keep that shit to you, Bush, and FEMA, because the rest of us don't give a fuck anymore. Yeah, we've had many other natural disasters for places that we could sit here and say they should win a football game.
That and the Bounty Gate. Everybody's still very, very angry.
Nah, the only reason people are mad at Bounty Gate is because they're Vikings fans. That's it. I personally ain't mad against Bounty Gate. Do you, boo-boo? Like, I'm fucking all for it. If that's how we're going to play, that's how we're going to play. The only reason people are mad at Bounty Gate is because they're Vikings fans. And that's it. That's the only reason. No one else in America gives a shit about Bounty Gate, except for when Brett Favre fucked the team up and tried to make the play instead of just run up and out of bounds 6 yards so they could kick a fucking field goal and beat them. I have a lot to say about it. Is facts. You go look at that. You go look at that last play. that fucking when Favre threw that interception, it's because he tried to force the big miracle play because that's what he was known for. And this is latter in his years of his career. And all he had to do was literally run, which he had about 15 yards to do it. I don't care how old you are. Anybody could have made that with a fucking walker. He had to go up 6 yards and run out of bounds, and the kicker could have ended that game. Instead, he tried to force the play. The Saints won. And everybody then complained because the Saints were just hella illegal hits on Favre and the rest of them and had been all season because of Bountygate. But yet no other team cares because they didn't get knocked out of the playoffs like the Vikings did. And I still blame Brett Favre, unbiased, against the Vikings. They're my third favorite team. Saints win. They're just too good. I don't really got much more for that one.
No discussion.
Which kind of also... goes into the next one, the Ravens and Pats. I think the Ravens win this. I don't think there's really... Shout out. I got to give credit because I've been talking shit about it all year. Your boy Lamar finally had a 300-yard game.
Yo, that was the very first thing I was going to say.
Lamar had his first 300-yard game of the season. I'm very proud of him.
He looked good. He looked real good.
Yep. He did. He did. I mean, he's looked. He hasn't looked like he did last year. Obviously, he hasn't looked like that this year. But he hasn't looked bad. He's just not as electrifying as he played last year. He finally has a 300-yard game though, and I think that helps. I think Ingram was still out, so that would have put Gus Edwards in the mix. I would assume for some work in the backfield. I didn't really watch that game, but I'm glad that he finally hits his 300-yard game. On the flip side, I did watch the Patriots game last week, and that shit show. On the flip side of Lamar putting up a 300-yard game and being a good quarterback, holy fucking tits, does Cam Newton need to retire? He needs to be done.
I feel bad. I feel real bad.
I don't know if I do. Because here's the thing. What I saw in that game, the Patriots won. They shouldn't have. They really shouldn't have. Cam literally tripped on nothing in a red zone situation. I get that, but him specifically even. He specifically almost gave that win to the Jets. Yeah. Their first win of the season, and their first win in like 30 games. Right? Cam looked so bad. And there was one, I remember early on in the game, he had a moment where he stepped up in the pocket, and he was kind of getting surrounded at that point. But instead of stepping forward into his throw, which that's what you do as a quarterback, he had his feet parallel to each other and straight waist, hip, and arm movement. And the ball went almost straight into the ground. I used to practice that throw with my stepdad. I'd practice that very specific throw because my dad would always tell me, when you're throwing, you have to step into it. That's where you generate this power, right? And then the follow through and your rotary cuff and momentum and how it comes through, that's where you get the snap. He always taught me that. He said, however, if you can learn to throw with your feet parallel to each other, just as accurate and strong, you would legitimately be the best quarterback to ever step on the field. Because to do that without stepping into your throw is almost impossible, especially while people are about to hit you. Cam did it just for shits and giggles. It was disgusting. He went for, I don't know if it was supposed to be like a QB scramble off to the right or what, but he literally stepped back from center, took one step to the right, and fell to the ground. No one touched him. Nothing happened. He just was bad. Cam has played bad football. He does not look like a professional quarterback.
All year.
I think it's time Billy B reevaluates whether or not he wants him as a starting QB. Because at this point, And Belichick actually made a comment a few weeks ago that he thinks the reason that the Patriots are kind of in this position is because, and this is kind of paraphrasing from what I read, but that they pretty much sold their souls. I mean, they sold their team out. How much money they had to pay with people like Brady, people like Gronk.
They don't have big names anymore. Like
Yeah,
they don't really have anybody.
they spent all that money for the last 10 years building the team. They got nothing.
3 receivers?
No.
Like just off the top of your head? No,
I can't name
cannot.
one. Oh, I can name one. Because he had a
I
big
can name
game.
one.
He had a big
Bird.
game last week. God, what was his name? I have him in my. I picked him up and he almost won me the fucking week too.
Bird.
Hold on, I can tell you. It was actually a really good pickup on my end, and I played him and he lit it up. Myers. Was that Jacoby? Yeah, Jacoby. Jacoby blew up last week. Fucking hell of a game. And I had picked him up off the waiver wire literally at like 11:50 a.m. Threw him in my lineup, and he almost won me the game. I wanted to say something now that I'm thinking about that. So I lost last week because on the podcast I said Nyheim Hines, don't play him. He's not going to put up those points. And then last week he didn't put up those points. My jackassness benched Zach Moss and played Nyheim Hines, who put up nothing. I lost by 8 points. Zach Moss put up 10 points more. That would have won me the game, right? So this week, I completely dropped Hines. I went out, found somebody else, took him off my team. The motherfucker put up like 160 yards and 3 touchdowns or some crazy shit against the Titans this week. I was fucking furious. But I just wanted to throw that out there because I just randomly thought about that. Yeah, I cannot believe. But in the same token, I then had Jacoby Myers, who he put up like 20-some points for me. He almost got me the win.
Put up a big game.
Yeah, he did. And expect him to be more relevant in that offense. That's why I picked him up. I think he's going to be more relevant in that offense, and I think last week was a really good first showing. I think he was either like out due to COVID or injury or some shit, or maybe he just hadn't really been playing. I don't know.
I agree though. I agree. They have a bunch of no-name receivers right now.
Yeah, I mean,
they're all fighting for starting position.
100%, and no one would have been like, "Well, I can name it's Jacoby Myers." Like the only reason I know that is because I just recently started looking into him, and he did pan out for me. Outside of that, you're right. The receiving core is trash. They still got James White. Dude, first off, this has been a running joke with a bunch of me and my friends for the longest time. Only Bill Belichick. Now, this is a little different this year, but prior, it was very relevant when Brady was on the team. Bill Belichick is the only guy that would have like an all-cast white receivers, which is just unheard of. And then a bunch of white running backs, but then the one black guy who is the running back is named James White. It was like forever the ongoing joke of how Bill Belichick runs his apparently very white-sided team. But James White's like 400 years old, and he's nothing like the James White of Super Bowl era Patriots. So, I mean, name a running back for the Patriots that's even good. I mean, I'll wait.
Previous season, Rex Burkhead. Maybe he's old as fuck now.
Yeah, I mean, Rex hasn't really done anything. James White's kind of been. I mean, James White he's tested, tried and true, but he's too old to be super relevant. He's still a great pass catching running back. He is. But he's old, and he's not going to be sitting and playing 75% of the snaps anymore. It's not going to happen. Cam's bad. That whole Patriots team's really bad, and I think Belichick is just like ready to be done. I think maybe he has one more year, and then maybe either tries to go find another team or just retires. Because he retires now, he retires as the second best coach statistically in football, and like literally probably all of sports at this point. Let's move on to the Monday night game. So
You know what?
apparently, if we just say they're gonna lose, they'll win.
Yeah.
It's been decided.
Vi-
If we just say, "Yep, they're gonna lose," they'll win.
Vikings fans, you need us to do this. You need us to shit on the Vikings every Sunday on this podcast, and your team will win.
Yeah, 100% win too. Because every time we're like, anytime we give them credit, they immediately lose.
They just fucking shit the bed. But the moment we say they're going to lose,
Dalvin Cook just carries the team. That's what he
explode.
does. Yeah, he just decides to carry the team. And in fact, my first talking point says Vikings lose, and then in parentheses says they will win. Because this is how it is. I said that if the Bears couldn't get a win this last couple weeks, expect to watch the downfall of them. So are you guys excited for the downfall of the Bears yet, or is it just me? Obviously, the QB situation with the Bears is just completely god-awful.
Just atrocious.
When you have to judge your quarterback off of Mitch Trubisky and Napoleon Dynamite.
Mr. Backup Supreme.
I feel bad. I saw a status in my like history for Facebook stuff, like their timeline history or whatnot. I saw a status and I was really mad at myself that I gave this guy way too much credit before he started. It says, and it's in regards to Nick Foles. It says, hey, this new Philadelphia Eagles quarterback that's taken over kind of looks like Sunshine from Remember the Titans. How dare I discredit Sunshine from Remember the Titans by comparing him to the low-life trash of fucking Napoleon Dynamite Nick Foles. Okay? Sunshine had an arm, bro. He just couldn't do the step pitch to fucking to the running back. To Rev. Right? That's the only, and he learned how to do the pitch, right? He learned how to do it. When Rev went down, he learned how to do it. How dare I discredit Sunshine? Sunshine, sunshine. How dare I discredit that man by saying he looks like shitty Nick Foles? Okay? How dare I? I apologize.
Can we pause? Can we pause? I just got a message from we shout out Tim Bo last week, right?
Oh, yeah.
He just messaged me. He said he can join, and
Oh.
I told him we're almost done with football, but Tim is a big Vikings fan. We should let
Oh,
him chime in on this final game.
yeah, if he wants to get it on this Monday Night Football, so I can really try to tell him that
Let's
that the Vikings will win as long as I say they will lose.
I'm sending him a hot ass invite right now to the
Yeah,
Discord.
let's-
You might have to unmute him though.
I will. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Permissions. What's his
I just sent him the invite. So
Okay. I'll wait till he gets in here.
Let's see if he joins. He's online.
Oh snap.
He's
Oh
online.
snap. Gotta get this hot young Vikings take from a true Minnesotan fan. See if we could get a bit here that I'll try to do by hot service real quick.
Stand by, Dead Zone folks. We have a special guest.
We
a special
have
guest
a
on his way.
hit him with the alarm notice. We have in the dead zone the hot mic special guest, and we're getting him in here now, and then Daddy's gonna have to do some mod stuff so he can speak in this channel. Because I have my link floating around with. He is? Where? I don't see him. Where is he? Get in here. Get in here, and then. Oh, Tim Vo. It's just right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can give him permissions. Before he even hops in, permission. Add Tim. Tim, you can do whatever you want here. Voice activity.
He's in.
Okay,
there he is. He's
I'll
in the
move him in
boys.
here.
Let me
I'll move him in here.
There you go.
But he's muted. I don't think that's on my end.
No, that's on him. Tim, you want to unmute yourself, baby boo?
He should have permission to speak in this. I just
There you go. There you go. There you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
Oh,
Oh.
snap! What's up, big sexy?
What's going
D-
on?
Oh my
Dead Zone
god!
folks, welcome your boy, the godfather to my child, Mr. Timbo himself.
And honestly, the godfather of hip hop himself, because me and this man used to have
Yes.
very extensive conversations about groups like The Roots and Dilated Peoples and all these other fucking underground hip hop things when we were in high school and junior high. And then he gave me a flash drive with a bunch of dope music on it. Don't think I'll ever forget that. Tim, how have you been, brother? I haven't. God, it's been fucking ages.
Yeah, man, it's been a while. I've been good. Just living life and getting a lot of student debt, and that's it, man.
Oh, that's
How about you?
That's my favorite. Paid off the student debt I had, and then just doing the grind like the rest of the world. But it's been good. I got a daughter now. I got married and grew the fuck up apparently, even though I'm still an inappropriate, immature child.
Oh, we're children. We're
Yeah,
still
absolutely. I'm absolutely children. But no, things are good, and I'm thank you for joining. I'm definitely we gotta do this more often. It's been way too long.
Came in at the perfect time too.
We did. We were just talking about your boys, the Vikings, and how every time Mike and I shit on them and say they're going to absolutely get decimated, they pull a win out their ass.
Not just you two, yeah. I mean, the fans have been shitting on them too, and every time we do it, yeah, they pull a win out of their ass, and that means tomorrow they're gonna lose.
No. Let's correct this too. Let's correct this. It's every time we shit on them, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook carries that
puts the
team to a
entire
win.
team into a backpack and just carries them into a win. Yeah, man.
100%. What are your thoughts, Tim, against with this Vikings Bears game? Obviously, we kind of heard it there. Do you don't think they're going to take this one, or?
Well, I don't know. Partially, I don't, because it's just a different defense tomorrow. It's that defensive front. But partially because of superstition. If I shit on them, maybe they'll win.
Yeah, spoken like a true Vikings fan, to be honest. Because everybody knows if something's working with the Vikings, you gotta keep tradition up, or else. I think you're absolutely right in regards to it's kind of a different breed in defense with the Bears, and honestly, the only thing that's really keeping them, in my opinion, afloat in not only your division but the league in general. But I honestly think that offense is so bad with the Bears that the Vikings should be able to capitalize. Should be able to. Obviously, I don't think they're going to, because more often than not, they're going to shit the bed. But with me saying that, maybe they'll pull that win out of their ass again.
Funny stat, though. Funny stat. Since 2000, since the year 2000, I can't even remember what the fuck I was doing in the year 2000.
5th grade. That's all I know. That's all I know.
I was probably just fucking ripping the skin off my dick, just jacking off profusely and playing Pokemon cards.
And I was just peeking in your window doing the same.
Since the year 2000, the Vikings are 4-16 on the road versus the Bears.
Yikes! That is not a confident stat for me to change. Well, not to change, but to just more so reiterate how the Vikings are gonna. But it's hard for me to say that convincingly, because I've been shitting on the Bears the last couple weeks, and I said if we watched the Bears lose the last couple weeks, we'd watch a downhill slide of them, because I personally think that offense is just not good. Allen Robinson's really the only threat, and in a PPR league, fantasy wise, yeah, that's great. He'll get his 10 to 14 catches. We might not see the work put in yardage always, but he's usually good for a touchdown and a few catches. But what else do they got? They got nothing on offense that I think the Vikings have to really worry about.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. Nick Foles, Mr. Backup Supreme, is not playing too great. He's not playing too great. So,
yeah, but Laser is getting the play calling duties now as a new, so that I don't know if that would change anything, honestly.
That might.
It could,
Getting rid of
to
the
be
ball
honest.
faster, because Laser did have success with that shitty offensive line over in Cincinnati, you know. So I don't know. They're probably gonna change it up and maybe get rid of the ball faster since their offensive line can't block for shit. And it is Nick Foles. I don't know. Nick Foles is known to pull shit out of his ass when he's not supposed to.
Yeah, 100. I was gonna say he
100%.
definitely has the mentality of the Vikings, which is he can just pull it out of his ass when we're all expecting him not to. And maybe that is the case. I mean, we haven't seen him really look like the Nick Foles that goes on a winning streak this year, but we didn't really see that with the Jags either. I think he's better off as just. I thought he might do better this year once they finally bench Trubisky because that's his MO. Wait till the quarterback goes down or is out, and then he steps up and has like a 7-8 game tear. We didn't really get to see that. Yeah, it hasn't. He's looked like the Nick Foles I've always thought he'd be. And again, there's not much on offense to work with the Bears. Really, I think what it boils down to is Dalvin Cook gonna put the team in a backpack and carry that fucker again, 230 yards.
Let me give you another stat, though. Being that the Vikings is my home team, right? I'm a Vikings fan by nature. I grew up being a Vikings fan, right? They're on my home team. Obviously, they're nowhere near the Ravens. The Ravens are
Yes.
but here's another stat, and this is a stat that's very, very important. It's very controversial. Kirk Cousins has the most out of every QB in the league. Actually, I think out of every player in the league, has the most losses on Monday Night Football since the year 2000. Kirk Cousins.
I believe that. That is one of his going stats that I always have to bring up to people is that his primetime gameplay is fucking awful.
It's just absolutely, absolutely atrocious.
Now, I will say the last couple primetime games that I've watched him play,
he played well.
He didn't play awful. It didn't come down to his gameplay being bad. No. It came down to mistakes on both sides of the balls for the Viking. Sides of the ball with the Vikings. That really was their downfall at that point.
He needs this, though. He definitely needs this. If he wants to scream, "You like that?" to the back to the whole world, he needs to win this game.
I agree. Vikings just really need to win this game in order to be relevant at all. To get 3 division wins in a row like that'd be huge. But
agreed. And that's what I was gonna say too. Is though I've been saying the Bears are kind of going on the downhill because of these last recent losses, the Vikings have in fact had really good divisional run thus far. I think if they can keep this up, they do become relevant, especially with your division, because really then they'd be only, probably 3 games out still after the Packers decimate the Jags today. But if somehow the Packers fucking lose today against the Jags, which probably won't happen, but if that does, you guys getting this win is incredibly crucial and important for the Vikings season to be anything moving forward here. This is a big game, I personally think, for the Vikings to show if they're going to be a playoff contender or not.
Agreed. Dalvin Cook, it's on you, man.
Tim, let me ask you, just because this game was such a fucking shit show last week, did you catch that Saints-Bucks game?
I did.
Let me hear what your thoughts and opinions are on that, because I have stated for quite some time, but on the first episode of our podcast, I am in personal belief that Drew Brees is actually the GOAT. And statistically speaking, outside of Super Bowl rings, I'm not that wrong. Just in comparison to Tom Brady, right? Who obviously people want to say, yep. And
in comparison between the two, when they meet each other, Tom Brady statistically plays like shit playing against Drew Brees.
Yep. The only thing he really has good is that he averages a little over 300 yards passing, but that's because he has to air raid it with Brees, because Brees always beats him. But Brees, I mean, statistically has more 5,000 yard passing season. I think his passer rating is even better overall than Brady. I have said for a long time, I think Brees, especially with the talent that has come and gone from the Saints, overcoming adversity with injury early on in his career, I personally think he's the fucking GOAT. I don't really like him. I mean, this isn't like I'm like, oh, like Larry Fitzgerald, right? He's the GOAT because I love him and because he's the GOAT, right? Like, my biased opinion comes first. Drew Brees, I'm not like in love with the guy, but he's a fucking phenomenal quarterback. And to me, I think statistically he is the GOAT. Were you surprised that the Bucs looked so shoddy on offense when they were so fully staffed finally, Tim?
I'm not surprised that they lost, but I am surprised that they did honestly look like shit because I thought they were getting something rolling. But, clearly I'm wrong. I think I was a proponent in saying that, it was really Bill Belichick and the system and the culture they built over there and not so much of Tom Brady carrying a team or anything. And we saw that last year. So, I mean, that's not a surprise either. I think old age. I mean, what's his deep ball rate? I'm not like a statistics guru, so I can't speak on like, yeah, Drew Brees is the GOAT on that. But judging by my eye test, which we know is as reliable as a Vikings win on any given day, I would say Drew Brees is definitely a Hall of Famer. He's up there in the conversation. So, if he's in the conversation, that's arguable.
So,
I still think that Brady's the GOAT, but
taking a look here, as of 2019, Brady's deep ball percentage was at 31.4%, but he actually had completed 38.9% of them.
And so, what is that out for, like 10 attempts?
Yeah, right. Let's see, Drew Brees, just to get a little comparison on that one. Within 20 yards downfield, just for the off the top. But I kind of agree with you, Tim, though, on the idea that he is. I don't know if we can consider him quite yet a system quarterback. I do think that the signs are definitely there. I think, and I made this comment to Mike as well, what really helped him transition to the Bucs is that he had Bruce Arians, the quarterback whisperer, to kind of fall back and rely on. Obviously, he's worked with all of the top-tier elite quarterbacks in the last 15 years, probably a little bit longer than that. I think he had a safety net with that, but I would say outside of that Saints game, I mean, Brady has played good football this year. I think he had, outside of that game, I want to say he was at 2,300 yards so far this season. And he was at, a 20-6 touchdown to interception ratio or something like that, or like 18 to 6 or something like that. I mean, he was playing good football. By no means was he playing awful where I'd go, yeah, you were a system quarterback. Billy B cheated and coached the fuck out of that team and made you who you are. But I think against the Saints and going against a top-tier team, it did show a little bit more that he could possibly be that system QB. And it is everybody's worst fear. And I think, Tim, you're right as well. Obviously, age has impact. He wants to act like it doesn't, but the motherfucker is old as hell. He is. It is what it is. He's got to admit that age has obviously slowed him down a bit.
Hey, I don't blame him. You know what? I'm 32, and I thought that I could still sprint down the block the other day, and here I am with a pulled muscle. Yeah, I don't blame him. Age is never going to be a thing until it is.
Exactly.
I'm with you there. I can barely go to town on myself without getting sore.
Right.
So,
I was just about to say I'm breathing heavily after just playing with myself. So I get it. I get it.
And to attest to that too as well. It's not like Brady went to a team like the Bears, right? It's not like he went to a team like the fucking Chargers. He went to the Bucs. He's got Bruce Arians. He
has two great receivers before AB even got there.
Yeah, he's got Evans. He's got Godwin. Now he's got AB. He's got Gronk back.
Yep.
He's got Fournette.
Uncle Leonard. Yep. He's got Uncle Leonard back. I mean, that's it. I think. Well, with Leonard Fournette, I don't think I was expecting him to be the Leonard Fournette of past year.
No.
By any means. I mean, is there? It's like Todd Gurley. Is there potential that you could see really nice flashes of who they were? Possibly, but you're not going to get this top tier elite running back out of Todd Gurley, in my opinion. And
You got the tandem though. You got the tandem with him
yeah,
and Jones.
Jones also shows flashes of looking good. He's also obviously, I mean, with fumbles and things like that, as there's a reason why they run a duo back there. You know, they're not pulling a Ravens three-headed monster or a Giants three-headed monster in the backfield like they've done in past years. But I think those two do complement each other, especially because Uncle Leonard is great out of catching in the backfield, where Jones really lacked in that. But how do you justify having such a staffed offense, such a stout defense, and then you get blown out of the fucking water by the Saints?
Just getting balls to the wall destroyed.
Want to hear a hot take?
Oh, I'm ready
Yeah.
for a
Oh,
hot
yeah. Oh,
take.
yeah.
Give me the
Give it to
hot
us.
take, bro.
Give it to us. Give it to us.
Maybe it wouldn't be as efficient, but if Winston was still a quarterback over there, they would have more offensive numbers.
I actually agree with you on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. That man aired it out in his sleep. That man aired it out any chance that he possibly.
Well, to be
could.
fair, it wasn't in his sleep. It was just he was blind and couldn't see anything, you know. And he's too busy trying to eat them crab leg dubs, you know. Like I did find that kind of humorous. That not only did he get to play in that game against the Bucks for a little bit, since obviously they blew the Bucks out, and why would you keep your fucking old ass starting quarterback in there, Brees? You don't want him getting out for the season, right? That makes sense.
Exactly.
I just love that at the end, you could tell he was trying to talk shit. Realistically, I was like, bruh, you're not looking at the cameras. You got to look over here this way. But you could tell what he was trying to do, and that was shit talk and be like, that's what the Bucks get. But I agree with you, too. I think that is an agreeable hot take because Winston still knew how to air it out. He could air the fuck out that ball.
Yep.
And proved it.
Afraid.
Yeah, he proved it last year. I mean, we talk about the 30 for 30, but like that's still as crazy as that is. It's still an impressive feat. You know, you knew he wasn't afraid to air it out, and we watched a lot of comeback games where he would just air raid, and Evans and Godwin would fucking deep ball it and get it. I do want to say one thing about Brady in regards to getting used to Mike Evans. Godwin, I mean, I feel like he's played with a lot of Godwins. Maybe not, well, even to their caliber and talent.
Smaller receivers.
Yeah, I mean, he's
running.
Yep, he's dealt with that. I don't think he's as used to other than with Gronk, and that was early Gronk prime, where it was just throw it up there. Give me the high point and I'll go get it. Like a Fitzy.
Yeah.
Fitzy's gonna catch it at the high point. And Evans, and I love Mike Evans. I try to draft him every year. I mean, he's one of my favorite receivers. But all you gotta do is just get him the high ball, and he'll catch it. He'll come down with it every fucking time. I don't think Brady's really used to that anymore. And with the fact that he just doesn't have the arm to do that distance wise, in my opinion. Which is where Evans is really gonna, you get him deep and at the high point, he's gonna fucking dominate defenses. I think if he figured out some chemistry with Evans more, I think that team clicks a little better. Because then he's used to Godwin with prior receivers he's played with, obviously, like fucking blanking on his name. But anyways,
I'm with you. I'm 100% with you, because if you look back when Brady was with the Patriots, right? When Randy Moss came, it wasn't immediate. They needed time to click.
yeah, 100%.
They needed time to click. So it's gonna be the same way with Mike Evans too as well. They need time to click. It's simple as that. And just to talk on your point previously too as well, Tom Brady and the New England white guys, yeah, it's a whole different ball game over here.
Oh yeah, Tim. I don't know if you were part of that conversation, but
You joined after.
I have a very long ongoing joke with the Patriots that only Bill Belichick would build a receiving core of white guys, a backfield of white guys, and then the one black running back they have, James White.
My God,
You ever look at that before? You ever look at that before? I'm just saying. Outside of when Moss left, outside of when Moss was there and left. I mean, AB was there for one game and he was like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. We need some more white receivers out there. AB, you're off the team. Sorry, bud. And they just moved on. But James White, I just loved it because like somebody once pointed that out to me. He's like, I mean, their running backs are white. I was like, no, they got James White. Oh, fuck you.
No, I never thought of that, man.
Only Billy B. Only Billy B. He's the only man I know.
Let's run the test on them real quick. We had this test earlier too as well. Can you off the top of your head, can you name 2 wide receivers that played for the Patriots right now off the top of your head? Go. Can you?
I don't know. Is N'Keal Harry still there? And
He
Julian
is.
Edelman is still there. Yeah.
Oh.
And then I should definitely name some more here, but now I'm
So-
just fixed on the white guy.
You did
Yeah,
right.
go ahead.
You only fix. Funny enough, I brought up a not white receiver, Jacoby Myers. Happened to be the one I brought up, and that was a long stretch. But it was to make note that last week he was really the only receiver that really shined
Yep,
against a
and Demir
failing
Bird,
Jet.
too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Against a failing Jets team, you'd think that whole. What's your thoughts on Cam right now? I mean, it's clear and evident what your thoughts are probably going to be, but where do you think we go from here with Cam? Because I think it's time for him to go, retire, just be done.
Oh, wow.
Because he looks real bad.
Yeah, but
He does
he's
not
got-
look good.
No, he doesn't look good, but yeah, you know what?
I
can see that.
I
I'm
love
not gonna argue
Cam,
with you.
but I mean, just his play style from when he first came into the league up until the last maybe 2 years with the Panthers, where he really started to get hurt a lot and stuff. I mean, there's a reason why he was getting hurt a lot, and it was because of his play style. He was a big guy. He took a lot of hits, a lot of impact. I don't foresee a little lady.
Oh,
I just I just don't see that. I mean, he's not going to be a pocket presence quarterback. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to be like doing that to him would be like when they tried to do that to Kaepernick. When they tried to make him a pocket, but they brought Kurt Warner in the offseason with Kaepernick. The last 2 years he was with the 49ers and starting. And they actually went through like 6-month training drills of trying to make him a pocket passer. And that's just not who he is, right? And Cam is not that guy. So you were going to go to Bill Belichick's team who's had fucking pocket passers for the last 20 years on the Patriots? Because, like, let's keep in mind, Drew Bledsoe could scramble, but that man could step up in the pocket more often than not and get the job done.
Yeah, I can't argue against that. And to be fair, I haven't seen too much of Cam playing, maybe just a couple games this season.
Ugh.
But no, you're right. He's definitely a guy that's better on the move to get his feet rolling before he gets his arm going.
Yeah.
And that's what they provided over in Carolina, not by design, but
Well, they designed it, I think,
For
around.
walking.
I think they designed it around him after they realized the dynamic player that he was. Because I'm not negating that Cam Newton was fucking phenomenal. The only time I really didn't like him is when he beat my Cardinals in the playoffs. That's really the only time and then we stole Steve Wilkes so we could, and then the Panthers finally finished off what they started in multiple playoff games when we took Steve Wilkes from them, and that was completely butcher our fucking team until we could get Kyler Murray, which I guess we can thank Steve Wilkes for trying to come and decimate my team, and then we got baby arms and baby hands Murray dominating, but
God,
I think
talk about that guy.
Oh, I'll talk about him all day, Tim. Baby, you don't even gotta ask, okay? We'll fucking talk about baby arm Murray for fucking 37 hours.
Oh, he's beautiful, man. It's so fun to watch.
They're still playing. They playing lights out. They lost, but they're still playing lights out. They played a wonderful game. Murray played a wonderful game last week.
When the Cardinals, like 4 or 5 years ago, when Bruce Arians was at the peak of coaching my fucking boys, and our defense was really strong with Todd Bowles, which is what I love that duo in Tampa for, because they're back together, and that's beautiful. But when the defense was great and the offense and Carson Palmer didn't look like shitty Carson Palmer, I had way less anxiety watching than I did of the Kurt Warner era and now. Because constantly I have to worry that if we don't put up 45 points, we're going to fucking lose. And it really is hurting me because I can tell Patrick Peterson is coming to the end of his career. He just doesn't play like he would have to have like some life altering shit, like when Sherman left the Hawks and then actually did very well that first year with the Niners. He would need something like that because and his work ethic would have to change. Like I just don't see Patrick Peterson making it much longer because of how his mindset is. He is hardworking. He has a high work ethic, but like I think he still thinks he's this shutdown corner, and he's not. And the rest of our defense, especially after we got rid of Tyrann Mathieu, has kind of just fallen apart. I would love to have a stable defense again to have less anxiety, but that anxiety is eased by Baby Arms Murray and just everything Kyler is doing so far with that offense, and with DeAndre Hopkins, obviously. I mean, best receiver in the NFL? And I believed that wholeheartedly prior to him joining my team. Larry Fitzgerald, GOAT. I mean, if he can play another 7,000 years like fucking Jerry Rice did, he'll beat those records finally. He'll beat those unbreakable records Rice put up. Christian Kirk's playing. I mean, no, I'm excited for my team. I really want a defense. Please give me a defense.
I hear you, man. I hear you. I mean, they've got everything good going for them, though. Besides that,
Yeah.
we can get working on that. Get some good early draft picks that can be a foundation on the defensive side. Jesus, man. But Kyler Murray, I could talk about him for a long time too. So good.
So good. I mean, he's just such a dual threat. I mean, he puts people on skates with his legs. And you know, when the comparisons came in about him being the possible next Russell Wilson, I really tempered my hopes there. Because as a Cardinals fan, we're very mellow as a team, and I think it goes like this, like all of the Cardinals fans, like the entire nation of Cardinals fans are on one side, and they're all mad chill people, like the most chill vibe with people you could ever meet. All of them, not a single one isn't. And then on the other side of this scale is me, this highly energetic, very anxious human being with a foul mouth that kind of offsets that fan base for the entire nation. No one has a problem with the Cardinals. You never hear people have beef with the Cardinals, even in their own division. Like, anybody in our division loses to the Cardinals, and they're like, good job, guys. We're very proud of you. Like, no one hates them. It's not like when the Ravens and the Steelers play each other, and it's guaranteed someone's getting hit in the head with a helmet or something.
It's like the Bills of the West.
Yeah. No one really has beef with us. We're just kind of there, and we like to have fun, and we try to have a lot of respect, and all of the fans are like chill vibe people, and then you got me on the other side, just really maybe even having it weigh more towards me and all the shit I bring to the table. The only reason people hate the Cardinals is because of me. I, in fact, have people tell me that. They're like, the only reason I say I don't like the Cardinals is because I know it gets to you. And I'm like, right, because why would you hate the Cardinals? What have they ever done wrong? Nothing. Kurt Warner? Oh, no, was that wrong? Larry Fitzgerald? Oh, no, was that wrong? Of course not. David Johnson was good. I'm sad to see him go to the Texans, but I'm also not sad because he's not playing good anymore. But Kyler Murray, 10 years. I want 10 years from him. Fitzy will finally retire in 10 years. Murray can retire with him. Somehow we'll bring Anquan Bolden back. You know?
Could you imagine Prime?
Not Emmitt Smith or Edgerrin James, though. Neither of them get the pass to come back. You don't get to just come finish your career in sunny Arizona because it's so nice and beautiful. Fuck out of here, okay? You earn those years added by being there the whole time like Fitzy did. That's all I got for football. Anything else from anybody? Tim? Any other hot takes that might stun us or blow us away? Any predictions? How about this? Any predictions for some future stuff here?
Look up all the games this week.
I can run them through you real quick. I have them written down here. So obviously the Colts and Titans, and the Colts came back and beat the Titans. Washington versus the Lions. Who you got on that?
It's at Detroit. Well, not that that fucking matters anymore, but the Lions. Is
Lions. Yep.
Galladay back yet?
No,
Sorry,
he is out this week. He is out
Sorry,
this week
Schmaltz.
again.
No, don't need him. Lions.
That
I'm
that
taking the Lions.
you almost quoted me exactly. I said Galladay is out again this week, but I don't think that matters.
Nah.
What else we got? Bucks and Panthers. Let me get a hot take for that. You think the Panthers could do it without CMC is out, which I do think is highly impactful. Obviously,
Yeah, and people that say that, oh, Mike Davis is like a 1-to-1, get the fuck out of here.
agreed. Agreed with you. Yep.
Bucks will get it rolling again. There's just too much talent over there for me to continue counting against them. You know, they can give Brady a clean pie, and you know, after just shitting on Brady and talking about that shitty game from last week, I think they'll figure out a way to bounce back.
I 100% agree with you. I think Brady needs a victory, and back-to-back weeks where the Bucks D slipped. I think this is. I said it last week, so I could be cursing him again, but I think this is the week that they have a big bounce-back game and that defense shows up. So I agree with you on that one here. Texans and Browns.
Next.
That is also what we said. Now, let me ask you this, and I'm pretty sure Mike knows where I'm going with this one already. If Josh McCown starts for the Texans, what do you think then?
Is that a thing?
He signed over to the Texans, and they did sign him to possibly start him.
Jesus.
Watson starting, but they did bring in the McCown.
They brought in the McCown. If McCown starts, does that sway your opinion?
Oh yeah, Texans by 100.
Oh yeah, yep. Tim, you are welcome back to this podcast at any given time. You just pop right in. I've given you full rights. You don't even have to ask. You're more than welcome if you think Josh McCown will throw triple digits up on any given Sunday. You are more than welcome to come back. I also took the Browns, though. I think that's a pretty given. The Browns look pretty decent this year. Jags and Packers.
Jags and Packers.
Yeah, I think
Packers
that's
should. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw some crazy stat. I don't think it's gonna be like it's possible in that it's not 0% chance. But I don't. Okay, first off, Minshew is not. Is he gonna start?
No,
No,
last
he's out.
last I saw, Minshew is still out. The mustache mania is still out.
Well, scratch this stat. Then it's not even a thing.
Okay, and in respect, I mean, as a Vikings fan, I'm sure you're wanting the Packers to lose just to tighten that grip on the division there.
I'd like to, but I've come to accept that we're chasing the wild card and the rest of the NFC and not the Packers.
Respect. I've kind of come to that point as well. So I mean, unless my Cards, I think if my Cards get a win this week, we go on a tear. I think Mike and I agree, but
I know Mike is like, Ravens, and then he cheers for the Vikings because that is his home team. What about you? Do you cheer for the Vikings at all?
So they're my third. They're my unbiased. I look at them realistically. Team. So it goes the Cardinals, and then I grew up out in Washington State for a while. So obviously the Hawks. Now this is pre Russell Wilson. This is back when they still played in the Kingdom. Sean Alexander time frame.
Hammer.
After he won MVP and became the worst running back in the NFL, not the run up to MVP. So I didn't even get to see good Sean Alexander, but they are my number two. And then my third is the Vikings, and I do follow them closely, love them to death, but I am very unbiased with them because at this point, if you're my third favorite team, I've kind of given all my biased opinion to both my other teams. So,
God, man, I can't even do that, man. I'm just Vikings. I tried to find a second team, even an AFC team, couldn't fucking do it. It's just Vikings in and out. But
I respect that. Winterfell, I just want the Packers to lose because they are the Packers. Well, but that's also because you're probably a Vikings fan. No, you're a Cowboys fan, aren't you? I saw that comment last week, and I'm sorry you like bad teams. Okay? Now,
he's a Vikings fan. Take it
Wait.
through.
no, she said Winterfell said she's a fucking Cowboys fan.
Oh, you're talking about Winterfell. Okay.
Yeah. No, not.
I thought you were talking about me.
No.
I was like, my man's hurt right now. He's
No.
hurt.
No. Wait. Oh my god. Yes. Thank you. I'm so glad that this was your defense.
Oh,
It's
that's
every
every
Cowboys defense
every Cowboys
ever.
fan.
Wait, how many Super Bowls did they win? I just got done saying that if you took away Tom Brady's Super Bowl rings, everybody in the world would agree that Drew Brees is a better quarterback, and they would never at me, I promise. If you take away the fact that Emmitt Smith literally played 90% of that fucking ball, and that's how he broke records, and granted in the beginning he was amazing, I can't lie. And thanks to the Vikings who helped set up that fucking draft year for him with a very, very infamous trade in the Vikings history of fuck-ups. I get it. You guys had a good run 2 decades ago. But what have you done for me lately? Drew is overrated in my opinion.
Oh no.
Of all time?
Winterfell.
Who do you hold on, I'm curious. Who do you think is the best quarterback in the history? Who's the GOAT, Winterfell? I'm curious as to hear what your opinion is. Who is the GOAT? And if it isn't a mix-up of Dan Marino, Drew Brees, or Tom Brady, or Peyton.
Cam with the Bart star.
I don't know if I'd put him as a GOAT. Bart was an elite. I don't know if I can put him as... The Cowboys had the best O-line in the league. That is correct. They did. For the longest time, that is what made DeMarco Murray when he played. Because don't think I don't know Cowboys history. I love DeMarco Murray, other than the fact that when the wind blew, he got injured for fucking 7 games every year. But he did have a couple good runs, and then he got shit on when he went to the Eagles in Chip Kelly's broken-ass offense. And then he went to the Titans, and that was the end of his career. Tom Brady, negating facts or biased opinions of how he looks. Okay, if you do say Tom Brady, I can at least keep that. I thought you were going to go for a Cowboys as one of the Cowboys quarterback. And honestly, yet Aikman, I don't know if I'd ever consider him GOAT.
You talking about white Jay-Z?
Maybe because he looks like one.
What? Yeah, white. Yeah, because he does look like one. I mean, there was too much talent around him for me to ever think it was him. Dan Marino deserved a fucking ring, dude. Dan Marino to me is actually a GOAT for early era before the new era of quarterbacks like Peyton, Brees, and Manning and shit. The 5-head. Never Eli. I'll never give that fucking bitch any credit. Even for beating fucking Tom. I'll never give that motherfucker any credit in the world. I hate that dude with all my heart. Eli Manning is the worst.
I love that motherfucker.
I fucking hate him, dude. I fucking hate him, dude. Tony Dorsett. That's a legitimate answer. Tony Dorsett. It's again elite, but not GOAT. Because elite is like all time. GOAT is your God. You created everything. You are the reason that people will ever want to trade. Like Babe Ruth in baseball to me. I love Babe Ruth. I don't think Babe Ruth is the GOAT. You're trying to tell me a fucking beer drinking league that he could stand up right now, go to plate, and be better than some of the people in the MLB right now? Absolutely not. That fat fuck's not cranking the ball like the people of today. But he's elite, right?
Facts.
He's elite because in his time frame, like a Joe DiMaggio, in his time frame, they were elites. A Jackie Robinson, that's a GOAT. Not just because of what he did, but because he was legitimately a fucking star. And an athlete to boot, a fucking just a phenomenon. So Dorsett is elite. I'll say Dorsett's elite, but I'm not gonna say that he's GOAT. You can't with new age quarterbacks because new age quarterbacks, I think, have the benefit. Offense changed in the last 20 years compared to what it used to be.
You're always gonna have people that try to be like, well, if you translate this era, player back into this era, and it just doesn't work out that way. But
No,
you
it
always
doesn't.
have people trying to do it.
I can respect.
Yeah.
I can respect Tony was a GOAT. Not a GOAT. You just liked him. Phenomenal player. And Cam, I agree. Bart Starr, phenomenal player. I still watch old film of 70s and 80s football because honestly, that was in my opinion, the golden era of football. And that's saying something considering what amazing feats we've seen in not just sports but football specifically in the last 25, 30 years. But there's some shit that went down, man. Like when I was at I went to Canton, Ohio back in June, I think. I actually went to Cleveland, which I now know why the Browns are bad. I just want to state that right now. I now know why the Browns have a history of being bad. If you live in Cleveland and you ever hear this podcast, get out. Just
Wow.
get out of Cleveland. Cleveland is awful. Absolutely the worst. Canton was all right. Canton was, I mean, it wasn't like huge. It was only really cool because this food joint we found that had we pretty much bought the menu out. Not even exaggerating. We were just like, we want everything you have. Just fucking start bringing it to the table. It was just two of us. It was me and Aaron. But we had gone to a Football Hall of Fame because how can you not if you're in Ohio, especially in Cleveland? Canton's not that long or far away. So we went. I loved watching the fucking early days of when football started to really become the NFL and football. Because some of those players were very talented. Could they hold their own against today players? Absolutely not. Technology, stats, science, it's changed. It's changed how we play the game. Tom Brady also has changed how we played the game because all his goddamn rules he got put into effect.
Google. Where is Peyton Hillis?
Where is Peyton? Yes.
Where is Peyton Hillis now? The Peyton Hillis story by Bleacher Report. All right.
Oh God, Bleacher Report has a story on it, huh? Oh my
Well, it's from
God.
2015, but if he was there in 2015, he's probably still there wherever he is. My God.
Is a former American football running back.
Poor guy.
Fucking, I haven't heard that name in forever. What other games we got here? Let's see.
That's it. I think we
Yeah. I think
we hit it all. That was
I
the
think,
final.
yeah. Oh yeah, because the Vikings. Yep, Vikings and Bears. Well then let's switch over to some Dead Zone gaming.
Dead Zone World of Gaming.
And that's gonna be my cue here. I actually gotta head out, y'all. But it was nice talking to you. Who knows? Next Sunday I have off.
You just go ahead and pop into chat, brother. You're always more than welcome here.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We appreciate you being on here this morning. Thanks for joining the Dead Zone podcast at 8 a.m. to prove to his bitch ass wife that he can be up this early. We love you for it.
Hey, it was fun.
We got a question. We got a question in chat.
We got non-football related. All right.
Football
Well,
related.
before we do the question, Tim, we appreciate you joining.
Love you, brother.
Yeah, you join whenever you want, brother.
Sounds good, man. Thank you. It was fun.
Yeah, you take care.
You too.
Let's see. I personally didn't
Late
like it.
for
Fuck
bingo.
Cleveland. Yeah, fuck Cleveland. Yeah.
us such a question.
Topher in the chat. What's up, brother? What question you got that's not football related?
Give it to us. Give it to us.
I love that you read his name perfectly, by the way.
Oh, you
Because
like
for
that?
the longest time, I would say L8 for bingo, and I wouldn't even say bingo. I'd just say bungo, because I didn't know what his fucking name was. And then his cousin Pro's little brother Zach was like, "Yeah, it's late for bingo." I was like, "Fucking 5 head." I'm so stupid. It's okay. Question: is Mandalorian before or after Boba Fett? What up? So it's technically it could be considered during if they go off the canon book that and not just after what happens in the Return of the Jedi, because there is a book where he then breaks out of the Sarlacc pit. He's pretty much just butt ass naked with his jetpack, his dick swinging. This is fact. This is a fact. If they go off of that canon, which I mean, they did find his no spoiler alerts, but a little bit of a spoiler if you haven't been keeping up on the new season, which we'll also be talking about here in a little bit. They do show his armor, and I do hear Boba Fett does show up. Now, we'll get more into that because we're just gonna run through some reviews on games quick, that some updates that we've gotten to play, so it shouldn't be too long. So stick around. We'll talk more about Mando. But in regards to Dead Zone Gaming, I got 3 reviews and just a personal note I want to make, since we've kind of covered games and what's been going on. Personal note. Finally started, and by started I mean I got beyond the opening scene of Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain. I have beaten all Metal Gear games ever, all of them, every single one, not just from the PlayStation, but everything. I've literally I love them. But they take me forever. I beat 4 probably like 2 years after it came out, and it wasn't because I like couldn't beat it. I just didn't play it for 2 years. I bought it and then just shelved it until I was ready. So I finally started playing Phantom Pain. It's fucking fantastic. I forgot that Kiefer Sutherland does the voice of Solid Snake, and it kind of made me sad. Or not Solid Snake, sorry, but Big Boss. But at the same time, it's kind of dope that Kiefer Sutherland is playing Big Boss. So I just want to make that personal note because I love Metal Gear Solid, and Kojima is a fucking god. Anything he does is gold. Let's see. Destiny 2 Beyond Light, you finally got a sample size. I actually got to play a little bit finally. Let me hear your thoughts.
Oh, it's hot.
Oh, it's hot. It's so fucking hot. It's so good. It's so good. So good. If you are a Destiny 2 player, you need to absolutely get your Beyond Light DLC updated. Fucking hop in. The new class is fucking hella litty. The new abilities.
There's 2 sides to this. There's two sides.
Okay,
Hit
me with it.
So, Beyond Light campaign, wonderful. The game itself, just the functionality, all the new shit. They vaulted everything, but they brought up the new class, right? They brought some new areas. They brought a whole new planet. They brought the Cosmodrome back, right? It's like a replica of Destiny 1 Cosmodrome.
Yep.
It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. But
Winterfell, I was gonna say Winterfell. I think hit it dead on in chat.
Yes, yep. Winterfell, you are.
She's I've seen her on in Discord playing it. So shout out. I've been eyeing up that you've been playing it. You're more than welcome to play with any one of us because we all fucking throw down on it too.
If you play Crucible at all, stasis is broken. It is absolutely broken. It is. You throw.
Oh, thanks for the follow, Trashy Tim. Appreciate it. Oh, is that Tim
grenade? Yeah. That's Tim. You throw a grenade, you can freeze.
Shout out, Tim. Appreciate it.
For 10 hours. They will sit there. You can go do your laundry. You can watch every fucking football game on Sunday and come back, and they will still be frozen. It is broken. Please take stasis. Bungie, please hear me out right now. Take stasis out of Crucible.
Yeah, they got to fix something with it.
Take it out of Crucible.
Yeah, they absolutely need to do something about it. I do agree. I on the flip side though, it is super fun though, and just like campaigning and campaigning is fun. It's wonderful. It is, but I do agree. PvP is just real broken with that, and but the thing is, I think Bungie will see that. They'll hear it from the people. Obviously, it's already been highly commented on by a lot. I think that'll be addressed and updated shortly to kind of balance and fix things out. I want to make a few comments about when it launched, when the DLC dropped. The servers struggled a little bit, to say the least.
They didn't. The servers were wherever Peyton Hillis is right now.
Yep, that's
They're
where those servers were. So obviously, you and I both had been watching it and laughed and made comment on it. But Lupo's stream name originally started because obviously Dr. Lupo is a big Destiny player. Got a lot of clout and fame through Destiny, building up to who he became. His stream name when starting and trying to get in that day of launch was Waiting Room Simulator, and that made me giggle for sure. And after about 4.5, 5 hours maybe, I mean,
the moment he got in,
yeah, he finally gets in, and immediately his chat or his stream name changes to "Imagine waiting for this Keck W."
imagine having to wait is what it is.
Or yeah, imagine having to wait. Yep, Keck W, and I was fucking dying. But I mean, overall, it is really fun. The campaign so far, I've really enjoyed. What is the cap now? 1250. 1280.
Soft cap is 1200.
Okay.
Hard cap is 1250.
Yep.
In light cap is 1260.
1260. Yep, I was gonna say I thought it was 1250, 1280, but that seemed wrong as soon as I said it. Okay, well that's not too bad. Gives me something to work towards for a little bit here, while I just patiently await for Cyberpunk and Keanu Daddy to happen.
While it just gets delayed over and over and over. No, not really, but
not this time. Not this time, fuckers.
It's coming.
You're bringing it. But other than that, I mean, it's if you like Destiny 2, I think this is the beginning of the fix.
If you just like well put together games, if you
don't say that. Cyberpunk is coming out. Don't at me, bruh. Okay, Cyberpunk is coming out. I need Keanu Daddy in my life in all platforms, not just my movies or TV. I need him in my games.
Is not Odell Beckham. Never coming up.
He's not.
OBJ, I'm sorry. Don't appear from a jacuzzi.
Yeah. And don't try to fight a kicking that, not me. But if you like it, yeah, Destiny 2 Beyond Light, good stuff. Cyberpunk for sure will be coming out, and I will for sure be playing it forever. Anything else you got about Beyond Light? Destiny 2?
No. Well put together game. Jump on it, folks. It's real good. Also, wait, you know what? It's actually free if you have I do believe Xbox Live. If you got Xbox Live, I do believe that Beyond Light is free for you. So
correct.
Free game.
Correct. If you got it, then definitely check it out. It's fun to play with your buds.
Yeah.
Next review I wanted to give out is Season 7 Apex Legends finally dropped since the last time we spoke here on the podcast. And Mike and I have been getting extra fucking spicy playing. And it's we did leave off on a win last night. And not just a win,
a heater,
but a fucking 20 banger. 6k damage. Yeah, between the three of us. And it was us two and a rando. It was and that rando was
he died immediately. We got 30 kills each. No, I'm joking. He was good.
Dude, yeah. Shout out to that rando we played with. He actually was fucking really good, and I think he played your girl.
He played Wraith.
Wraith, yeah, and he played her right. He played her right. In fact, one reason I was still alive at the end is because when I got down, they started to push, and he had popped his fucking ult. Perfect time, and it sent me right away, and he revved me, and it was fantastic. But no, Season 7, a lot of right, there's some wrong. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. There's some wrong with Season 7. But let's go over what I feel is right so far, and Mike, what you probably feel is right. I'd love to hear your opinions as well, since we've been playing a little bit more together again. I want to start by saying visually it's great. I really like the new map and visually how it looks, and a lot of people say that they don't think it's bigger than the old maps. They actually think it's smaller. I've been trying to disagree with them, saying it has a lot more depth to it. And with that depth, I think it makes it feel to me bigger.
I'm gonna have to agree. And I mean, realistically, it's a bigger map. I mean, there's so
that's
much in it.
exactly what I said. I said people just don't think that because it feels crowded. They have a lot of areas in this map now.
There's just a lot going on, but it's realistically a bigger map.
Yeah,
It's
and with the depth, I definitely think that. But visually, just the color scheme, kind of the new look. I can definitely tell that they've updated graphics with this last season 7 patch. It looks much more clean, I think. So visually, it's great. I think it's beautiful. Obviously, we got a new character, and you've been playing with her quite frequently. How do you like her so far? What are your thoughts?
Female Conor McGregor. I dig.
Female Conor McGregor. Yes, this is accurate.
I dig it. No, she's most new characters that they release in any game, literally any game,
Are usually hella broken.
are one of two things. They're either broken to bat, just like disgustingly broken, where they're too good, or they're just god awful shit, and you just never want to touch the character. Right?
Yep, agreed.
But she's balanced. I don't feel like they need to nerf her. I don't feel like they need to buff her. She seems fairly balanced. They did a very good job on Horizon.
I've played a little bit. And I'm glad I played a little bit more just to get a bigger sample size, so it wasn't me just being like, "Oh, I died, fucking, I'm bad with her." I wanted to give her a realistic opportunity and chance. I 100%, 1,000% agree with you. She feels very balanced for a new dropped character. Now,
Yep.
one thing I'm gonna say though is Respawn is definitely game planned what they want for the next 6-7 seasons.
Oh yeah.
They've talked about how with every season they want to drop a new character for the next several seasons. That they have actually already and if you look into what's been data mined and stuff for Apex, there's been screenshots and things of full list of characters that they plan on dropping over time. So I don't think they're I don't think by any means they're just kind of winging it and hoping the seasons go well. I think they've methodically thought this out. And I think we're seeing that by, yes, there's some broken stuff we'll get to, but dropping a new character that feels so fucking balanced right out the gate is to me a very big accomplishment that you know what you're doing with your game. Because I find that very difficult to do, and not to do, but I've seen it be difficult to get completed and done from a consumer aspect on our end of playing a game where somebody new drops or something new gets added and it's fucking broken, or it's not good enough and needs to get buffed completely but doesn't for a while and you don't use it then.
I 100% agree, and this speaks volumes of Respawn.
It does.
EA,
Again, not EA. Respawn. I've always given their credit. Absolutely, because EA has things like Origin and microtransactions, and both are awful. The 9-9 is back. The 9-9 is back. I just want to get to it. I want to get to it. Just re-downloaded Apex. Yes. Let's go. Yes, Topher, you just let me know when you want to play and we will play Apex. Yes, the 9-9 is back, and boy howdy does it still shred. Yeehaw! I love it. Oh my god, I want to get the outlaw skins for it again, for my 9-9 and my fucking
feels so good.
Oh, dude, it does. The hip fire on it still slaps people. It still is decent for mid range if you're fully kitted out on it.
And if you can aim somewhat decently.
Yep, if you have some decent aim, mid range to obviously close quarter combat, it's gonna shred motherfuckers. It's fantastic. The Prowler has now been moved to a drop item. I finally used it last night. I guess I didn't have enough time. It was the one we won on.
Oh, where the guy had
They had
we killed the guy with the
and he had
double
the
prowler.
yep, and he had the dual prowlers. Which what the fuck? But it did slap. I mean, it always has slapped when
Always
it's
slapped.
fully
The prowler's
kitted,
always slapped.
and you have it
Always
on
slapped. Shout out to
semi-automatic.
Ryan
Yeah,
Otis. Shout out
when
to
you
Ryan Otis.
yeah. Shout out to. Can I get a jaw feel in the chat?
Shout out to Joe.
Can I get some jaw feels in the chat for Big Bear Otis? It's always slapped. So I didn't get enough time to see if like they did what they did with the 9.9 when they put it in the drops, and they like added more ammo to it. Like I didn't get a chance to look to see, but it still slapped motherfuckers when I threw that fucking just nonstop empty a clip into a motherfucker. That was fantastic. But having the 9.9 readily available without a drop need is even more fantastic. I'm so excited for that. They've added a new attachment to the 45 and the wingman, and at first I kind of was like, well, why would I ever like for the 45? I'm not running endgame 45, not with 99s back in play. With a 99 back in play, thank you for the jaw feel there, Topher and Chad. I appreciate it. With the 9.9 now, the 45 is a first drop gun when you just need to wipe a team and then go stock up on your good shit. I would drop a gold 45 for a fully kitted 9.9. It's just what it is. But I have noticed that for the wingman, it is a good placeholder for the skull piercer until you find one. The ADS speed up is great. The hip fire, which the random spray is reduced. So it's really good up close with that attachment on if you're still looking for a skull piercer.
It brings a different dynamic. It definitely brings a different dynamic to people that are wingman and RE45 players. So.
Oh, absolutely. And I love the wingman. It's like one of my favorite guns, and that really has just contributed to players like Hal and ACU and shit that used it because ACU. We'll get to Hal. He's a talking point. Obviously, I wanted to bring that up when it happened, but the attachment's not bad. I like it for both guns. If it's a placeholder for the skull piercer, obviously, if you have aim, you want the skull piercer with your wingman because you're gonna click heads and smack faces with that skull piercer. Vehicles. You were right. I was wrong. But you were not 100% right, I'm going to say. Because it doesn't really bring a new dynamic to the game. But that's because I feel like this vehicle, in my opinion, disclaimer, Josh Paulson may have opinions that you do not agree with. If you do not agree with them, please shut the fuck up. Because I don't want to hear about it. Unless you're going to respectfully discuss it with me. Thank you. In my opinion, okay, I personally think these vehicles are the most balanced vehicles I've ever seen in a fucking BR.
Agreed.
I think the shared damage is awesome and fair. If you are going to use a vehicle, you should not be dependent on that being the reason you win fights. And I think that's the best vehicle I've ever seen in a battle royale. Maybe not mobility and actually driving it and shit. And if they're gonna do shared damage, yes, they could consider putting like a turret on or something. Like not a turret that's gonna shred motherfuckers, but a turret. Or maybe give Rampart the ability to drop her turret on it. Ooh.
Oh, they do. Yeah, you sure can.
You can? Oh,
Yeah,
five head plays, which we'll get to Rampart as well, because there's some broken shit I want to talk about there. But in my opinion, in regards to vehicles, I think vehicles are in fact the most balanced vehicles I've ever seen in a battle royale, because that shared damage means that this no longer is something you're dependent on to either win the match or get the kills. It's solely meant for transportation and quick, evasive ways to get in and out of battle, but not to be the battle.
Yep.
And I think it's beautiful. I think that was something they absolutely did right. So you were right on the sense that I thought it was going to break the game, and they did it right. So you were right on that sense. But by doing it right, and I don't think any of us would have seen that, by doing it right, it didn't bring a new dynamic to the game. It's no different than a balloon. You can drop from a balloon into battle quick and be evasive, or use it to get out of battles, just like a vehicle. But I think that's the way you should be doing that in a battle royale.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I see it.
I think another great thing that's right about this season brought people like Shroud and ACU back.
Welcome back, ACU. Welcome back, Daddy.
Yeah, welcome back, Mr. Aimbot himself. Mike, you were right on that. You said this season could be the thing that really brings back Apex, and you were absolutely right. A lot of big streamers are back at it. Shit, dude, I was watching ACU play it at 5 a.m. this morning. He was on a fucking tear. 8-9 hours just fucking running it. It's great to see these big streamers bringing light back to, in my opinion, again, the best battle royale. There isn't a better one. I'm looking at you, Warzone. Anything else that you think they really nailed with this new season and patch and everything?
No, it feels well put together. There are some discrepancies, and I bet you have some too as well.
Absolutely. Let me hear a couple of yours.
Let's talk about Crypto's drone. You can throw Rampart's turret on the Crypto drone.
That's
and
it.
Fly your ass around.
That is absolutely one of my fucking things. Is Rampart's ult is broken due to that.
Cam, thank you.
Nah, Radical Heights best VR. Stop. I played Radical Heights. Okay, I played Spellbreak. I played PUBG. I played Radical Heights. You're ridiculous, Cam. Shout out to Cam. I don't know. That's the problem.
Cam, are you for real? You can't be for real.
All right, Topher, you take care, man. Thanks for joining, and you can catch the rest of it. I'll post the link always on my Facebook and shit. So just keep an eye out. I'll have it there. You can actually, Michael, I wanted to tell you this. You can now catch us on Spotify.
Ooh.
Yes, sir. You can now catch us on Spotify and soon Apple Music as well. And I'm hoping I can get us on Google Music soon. But right now you can catch us on Spotify. Just search up Flex Luthor's Dead Zone and we'll appear for you. And soon I think in the next week or so I'll be able to happily announce you can find us on Apple iTunes or whatever the fuck Apple runs now. And
big things.
Yeah, we're making some moves out here, boys. I'm really forcing my hand on making people have to unfortunately listen to me.
Cam, thank you.
Yeah, the game was whack as hell. I remember when they really tried to push and make Radical Heights like someone. There was another one I had. It was a Chef. No, God, it was a really shitty BR, and I can't remember. It was like a PUBG rip, but they were like chefs. Cuisine Royale.
What?
I think is what it was called. I'm not even fucking kidding you. I think it was called Cuisine Royale.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. I've literally played every BR. Okay, the best BRs out there. I think I might even still have Cuisine Royale. It's not installed.
It's a clone of PUBG.
PUBG, yep. But I definitely played it. What about Lice of 9? That would be a good troll. Well, it was a good troll. It was, because for a second there I was like, well, I do remember people playing Radical Heights. I think Radical Heights was a step below Hyperscape. And I really wanted to like Hyperscape, but it wasn't right.
No.
It wasn't. And I think Radical Heights was the same. Oh, Isle of 9. No. There's only one BR, and I've played Duty, and more so would rather play multiplayer than fucking Warzone if I'm gonna play Duty at this point. Because I'd rather play a search and destroy and shit than Warzone's broken shit. I am probably gonna buy. Just a side note, I'm probably gonna buy the new Cold War multiplayer. So I was right. It did the Warzone shit came out, but the actual multiplayer game just had released. I think on Friday or some shit.
Correct.
But I'll be probably picking that up to play some multiplayer because I mean I like multiplayer in COD, but Apex when it comes to BR, best
Hands
BR
down.
out there. Yeah. But in regards to Rampart and Crypto's shit, I did see ACU do it once, and he named the clip AC 130, and I was real mad at him for it. I was real mad at him for it. I was like, you know what? Fuck you. He's just like AC 130 inbound. I was like, God damn it, ACU. Yeah, it pretty much makes Rampart's turret flyable. And you just fly the fuck around on it and just fucking mow people down.
It's also unlimited ammo, folks.
Yeah.
Unlimited ammo.
It's fucking broken, and that is something they do need to fix. You got to experience one of the ones last night that I actually have on here, and that is that Horizon's ult has been known to break the sound in the game.
Ah, you're right. We did it. We experienced it together, actually.
Yep. So that was one of mine as well, as that hers is a little broken. Now, I've noticed it's not every time. Obviously, because you play her and it doesn't happen ever, really. But it did finally happen where you open a chest, you open a door. I feel like you could still hear feet. I feel like
you couldn't hear like chests opening, doors.
Yeah, you couldn't hear doors,
shit.
chests, things like that. Now, obviously, if you can hear feet and it's in an area that you already are somewhat aware of where they are, but I mean, thinking of a team that might just sweep up behind you, with how much depth I've already talked about on that map, not having things like door sounds and shit, that'll fuck you.
Oh yeah.
And I think we won. I think that's the one we won.
Oh, it is the one we won.
Where the sound broke and we were like, fuck, and then we just shit on kids. It was great.
Yep.
What are you seeing that maybe needs some altercations and some revamp on the new season?
It's hard, and you know what? That's all I got. That's all I really got. It's
there wasn't a lot that I had wrong.
There's some. I mean, yeah, again, along with the Horizon alt fucking up sound. There's other sound bugs in the game too as well. Sometimes you won't hear audio. Sometimes the audio just cuts in and out, which they will fix. Respawn, they're like a mini Bungie for me, right?
Absolutely.
Very dependable company. So, I'm not, I'm not sweating it at all. Otherwise, it's well put together. You got others? You got other things?
Well, I did have Horizons, breaking the sound, Ramparts as well. Audio still an issue. I mean, there's still times I don't hear footsteps and stuff, but again, that's kind of always been a part of Apex. You just have those moments in games, but the size of the map, I stated earlier, I personally, now that I've gotten to play it, I've enjoyed it a lot more. Outside of it just visually being great, that was really at first my only plus to it. Now that I've gotten accustomed to the map, really my problem is like you said, it's a bigger map, and there's a lot going on this map. There's a lot.
There's a ton going on. It's a bigger map. People try to argue and say it's the same size. No, it's not the same.
It's
size.
not. It's not.
It's a larger map because some games you'll run into a bunch of people because it's a hot area, and some games you'll run the entire length of the map and run into nobody.
And that's exactly where I was going with that. If you don't constantly drop the hot drops that people are going to go to, and even that's dependent on when you're dropping, what angle you're coming in from, all of that. Because like what's the one we usually go? They're like the domed out with the little teleporter ball in the middle.
Oh, the fuck.
Yeah, whatever that place is called. We go there sometimes. Majority of the time, there's a few teams. But if we're dropping there at the end, there's been times where it's just been us. And then we don't see anybody, and all first thing we hear is half the teams are gone.
Yep.
And now we're down to the final 6, and we haven't seen anybody. Hopefully we've looted good just off of chests and stuff. But that's a crapshoot. We don't know if we're going to, we push a team and know that they got purple and gold. We know we're getting purple and gold when we beat them. Looting is up to the gods. And that can be an issue. You don't see anybody. You don't have this gear that you really need for endgame. And then you just get shit on when 2 teams third party, because the only way me and Michael lose is when we get third parties. At least two teams. At least 2 teams. At least 2 times. If we won 1v1 teams, we don't lose.
Never.
Ever.
It's impossible.
Never. Ever. We don't.
How.
It's just not. It's not what happens. But that is still, to me, a little bit of a negative on this map. Is because there's so much going on, and obviously they can't stock all places with amazing loot. There are times you drop, you don't see anybody, but the loot just isn't great to keep you up. You really got to play on your toes and be ready.
But there is enough places to loot. There are some
Yeah,
places that don't have a lot like good loot, but there are enough places to loot. And the places that have good loot are the hot drops.
Yep.
Obviously are the hot drops.
And I don't want people to think that when I say that there's like 2 hot drops. There's a lot of hot drops still.
Yeah.
There's a lot of I can think of 6 spots off the top of my head on the new map that you're guaranteed 4 teams.
Yep.
You and 3 other teams guaranteed. And sometimes more. And sometimes more.
That is also part of the problem though, because they'll hot drop and there'll be this big first circle and there'll be like 6 teams left, and so you will run into 0 people because they would have all died immediately on the hot drop.
Yep, 100%. And that's why if you're not there, and you are one of those teams that happen to drop where no one is, and you don't see anybody for a while, you just first thing you really hear is half the squad's eliminated, and you're just like, we haven't even heard a gunshot yet, and it's because 5, 6, 7 teams fought it out in the beginning at one of those hot drops. And we've seen, you and I have seen it and survived it and died in it at the same time, in the same token, where we have had 3, 4 teams push us, and then another team, and then another team, and then another team. And
That's the only way.
And then we've walked out of that victorious before, and on the same side, or on the other side, we've obviously gotten killed when there's that many teams pushing. But immediately
not shooting anybody else either.
Yeah, and literally, actually, and this isn't even exaggerating, we've literally watched 2 teams stop shooting each other and shoot us because they felt the presence on the field. Right? And that's not even an exaggeration. I'm pretty sure I was streaming so I could pull the clip. They literally stopped shooting each other and then just both turn, look at us, and they all focus fired on us. It was absurd. The only way we get beat is with 2 teams or more. But outside of that, I didn't really have anything else majorly wrong. I personally am a huge fan of the new season. I am back in full swing, full time playing, which hurts with Destiny 2 new drop, but fully on board for that.
So is your boy. You know who's back in the swing? The man of the hour, the man that played with me first.
Yeah. All right. So I'll make this comment brief since I've kind of forgiven him a little bit. I have been trying to get my BFFFFF, the Big Bear Oats, Jafeel in the chat, get a Jafeel. I've been trying to get Oats back on the Apex train for like 4 months. And he was Jafeel, yes. I've been trying to get him back on the Apex train. He just wasn't having it. And he was pretty much making it very clear. It was like when I took a break with Rocket League that, that last time I took a break, I didn't know if I was coming back. I was like, I think I might be done with this game. Which I didn't. I came back to Rocket League, but it kind of sounded like that with Otis. And I know Otis. Otis thinks he's done. He really is done. And then this cheating ass, lying ass, trifling ass, no good, hoe ass fucking bitch.
Oh no.
Decides on a night where I'm working and can't play that he's gonna go ahead and play with my brother. and my other brother,
Oh no!
Mr. Michael Hadouken Lee here. And you
it
know
was fun.
what?
It was tremendous. We won every game too. We put
Fuck
up
you.
bangers.
Fuck you.
It was
I'm about to ban you.
great.
I'm about to ban you. I definitely gave Otis a lot of shit, but he did update and load that same day that I found out and talked. Finally, he hopped in chat. He did, like, the moment he knew I knew, updated so he could play with me that day. And we have played multiple times. Now, Valhalla obviously dropped. He is lost to that game. So really, I only get him for Rocket League. But that cheating ass. Yeah, and Hades. Hades as well also took over for Odes. But I still have been getting him in a few times for some Apex since that fateful night of me finding out he was a little trifling ass bitch. So he did make up for it. One thing I did want to say about Apex. So your boy Michael and myself were playing some hot duos the other day. And in a game, Michael happens to notice who the champion squad was. And duos. There's no rank. There's no. You know where I'm going with this. This was not ranked. It was straight duo pleb ass pubs. And your boys happened to fall into a duos match with none other than Imperial Hal. Now, if you are an Apex player and you also watch Apex on Twitch, you know that Imperial Hal is, outside of Asu, obviously, who is much superior to Imperial Hal. Which is Asu. Asu is obviously more superior. Imperial Hal is one of the better, if not best, outside of Asu. Apex players. One of the best. One of the better. Honestly, I gotta say one of the best because he's still consistently getting better. I hate him. You know I don't like him. He's a fucking asshole. And if he ever hears this, I'll tell it to his face. He's a fucking asshole to his teammates. He's disrespectful. He's fucking rude as shit. He thinks he's the smartest guy, and then when he goes back and tries to prove it by watching the clip mid fucking tournament, and then sees that he was wrong, he don't know. I don't like him, but I do think he is right now, currently, outside of a handful of players that I would easily wouldn't even have to argue is actually the best. He is one of the best because he's progressively getting better still. But why was his bitch ass playing some plebby ass pleb pub games with us? That's my question.
Boy was getting content. He was trying to get content.
Yep. And that's how your fucking Twitch streamers do it. Just a FYI. Okay. They fucking play low rank shit and then they pop off a fucking bunch of kills and clip that shit to make it look like they're beasts. I still say we should have pushed his ass and fucking beat him. We should have just fucking pushed and just beat his ass. Because we could have. We were fucking El Fuego that day, bro. We were putting up bangers.
It's all good. We know. These are facts.
Last thing I got for games. That's all I really had for Apex. Obviously, PS5 and Xbox came out. Crashed the Walmart servers. Good job. If you're looking for one, you can go to eBay. They're about $1,000 plus right now. And I can't believe consoles are still selling out like that. A lot of you guys don't have PC, and it shows. And that's no offense to the consoles because I'll still get them eventually. But Jesus,
it's the same people. It's the same people. It's
2K. It's the 2K and COD guys. They do it. Also, if you are looking for one, I actually could probably get you it at about $850 for the whatever the better PlayStation is called, the S or the X. I don't know what they fucking called them this time, but I do have a Connect. Hit your boy up. I will get you either that or the new Xbox, either one. Because, your boy always knows a guy. Outside of that, that's all I really got for gaming. Can't lie, I don't really have anything.
I got one last thing for gaming.
Oh, Whiskey Power, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, Squilly.
Kevin,
Yeah.
17L.
What up, Will?
Yeah.
Good morning.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome to the Dead Zone.
I got one last thing for gaming.
Yeah, what do you got for me?
This game was extremely hyped. Big publisher, Square Enix. Big publisher.
Ooh.
And super hyped. The game was super hyped. Final stats came in on the game. Marvel's Avengers
Yeah.
lost $63 million for Square Enix.
Well, hopefully they have one last Final Fantasy to complete.
Yeesh.
And pull this off like they did with the first Final Fantasy they ever created.
I was hopeful. It actually didn't look bad.
I played it. I bought it and
I
played
did
it
not.
because I'm a Marvel fan. Well, I'm a comic fan. There was a lot right about it. The story was really fucking cool. Problem was the gameplay sucked.
Oh, that sucks.
And they definitely tried to make it a gear grinder game. The problem was you didn't have to grind that hard. There was a ring in, and maybe they may have fixed it. I don't know, but that's the thing is, it drove me away too much for me to really want to go back and play anything outside of just beating the story. But all you had to do is get this ring, and you pretty much were broken, and you could beat everybody, and it just wasn't fun. The story was really fun though. I did enjoy that. I really hope they make a second one. I guess, like, I hope they do it again, but do it right. I'm more on board with things like Miles Morales Spider-Man right now, because games like that are going to give more credibility to me getting a Superman game. I'm not going to let it go. I owned the Superman 64 game that you can't even fucking beat because it's literally broken, which ruined me as a child because I didn't know that, by the way, and spent countless hours trying. Very, very emotionally disturbed because of that. Thank you. Superman 64.
Really
yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like a race or something you can't even beat. It's like legitimately a broken game. I still see like TikTok videos and shit about it. It's funny. They just know, the algorithm just knows that I hate that fucking game with a passion, and that destroyed my childhood. And yeah, fuck that game. But I need superhero games to be advantageous for companies to go out and make more. Because I want a Superman game. I want one. I got a Batman games and they were fun for the most part. I liked them.
Games were good.
Yeah, stories were cool. Less gripes about it than I did. Had good things to say about it. It wasn't like I had more bad things to say than good.
You got great Spider-Man games.
Spider-Man games have been fucking crushing it. The new Miles Morales looks wonderful. That's the only reason I really want to go get a PS5 is to play that, because that fucking last one was great, and everything I've seen so far with the new one looks super cool. Stop making games as a service. The market is full. I do agree with that.
I also agree. Spot on.
But the market isn't full with like comic games, in my opinion. There's a lot of like games that have comic content in it, and that was one of them. And that's why I agree that it's to stop making games as a service. What they need to do is do like what they did with Spider-Man, where you took a character that is obviously literally the number one most sellable fucking comic character because of children. Like, the money off of merch just for Spider-Man alone is fucking ridiculous. But that you took a very easily marketable character and made a game that people could not deny was amazing. And the reach was so grand on it because it was such an easily marketable character that all you had to do for the follow-up was just not fuck it up. Just make it as authentic as you did the first one. And games like that, what's another superhero game that, like, I don't think the Injustice games give me good service to be able to get a good comic related fucking like game, like a real comic game. More so, I think like the Telltale Batman game gave me more opportunity for a possible better superhero game down the road. I, so there's a lot of games with comic content, but I need good comic games, and the Marvel game, it just wasn't it. Oh, that Spider-Man is a banger, bro.
Oh, it is.
And yeah, I'm not saying that there aren't ones that don't make decent cash. Obviously, the Arkham series whiskey made a lot of money, and honestly, kind of revolutionized games like that because of the fighting system. It wasn't as slidey with a lot of games, but I mean, if you look at like Shadows of Mordor, that came out after Arkham, obviously, but it has that Assassin's Creed fight style, but better fine tuned because of Arkham. Arkham gave the slide, and I think the slide in that combat system is what kind of works best with it. Not too much like Arkham, but nonetheless, I'm not gonna go off on a tangent about the fucking mechanics of the game. Overall, the game was great, and it was also successful. And mediocre fighting, yeah. But I think that fighting style was needed for games like that. It made it more entertaining because you had such a vast map to cover. But I need good comic games because I want a Superman game. I want a fucking legitimate, not where Superman's the bad guy, and that's why I think Injustice really is hurting that for me in the sense of a Superman game. I know there's a new they're making a new like Suicide Squad game or some shit where Superman's the bad guy again. So give me a good give me like a year one Superman. You know, give me like an all seasons or an all-star Superman.
Give him a real Superman game that's unbeatable again, please.
Oh goddamn you, Mike! Don't you dare put that fucking curse on me.
Like just a wonderful
Don't
put together game.
thank you. But you can beat it. But you
But
can
you
beat it. Just
cannot
be
beat
done
it.
with
You
it, Mike.
cannot beat
Don't
it.
fucking hurt
You
me.
cannot
Don't
beat
hurt
it.
me like that. I
Wonderful
want my
game, just
boy
cannot beat it.
Cal. I just want my boy Cal to have a good fucking game. And when I heard Rockstar thought about doing it, as much as I'm not a big fan of GTA games, I mean, I'll play them. They're not awful, but I'm not a huge fan of them. I kind of was excited that they were thinking about making a Superman game. Because at least the map alone would be big enough for Superman to travel around in and not be ridiculous. Like you're just at one end to the other immediately. And honestly, there's so many ways you could do it. You could do like fucking Brainiac comes and drops a fucking red kryptonite, like the size of the moon, and just suspends it in space, which dampens. Well, that changes his emotion. No, red does dampen his powers. Yeah. You could do shit like that where the story makes him not as good as top tier Superman. I don't need sun dipped Superman that can kill anything in my video game. I need Clark for part of it and then like a 55% power level Superman. Do that in a game and then you get Spider-Man. But instead of swinging, you're flying.
Just make Spider-Man but with Superman instead.
Don't do that. Do that. Do that. Who am I kidding? Do that. Do that.
Yeah.
Just make Spider-Man Superman.
Just you'll take what you can get right now, but just make sure the game is unbeatable at the end.
God damn you, Mike.
The game is like 500 hours, like crazy long, and you just can't beat it at the end. That's all I want.
You know what, Mike? I love you. It is what it is.
I have a final gaming stat though.
Yes.
With the release of the Xbox and the new PlayStation. It's weird. It's very strange, but with the release in the United States in just the month of October, Switch and Switch Lite consoles, 735,000 consoles were sold.
Jesus.
Just in the United States. So
Oh my God.
Nintendo hopping on that console train. They're hopping on that little fire that PS5 and Xbox Series X is.
Hell yeah.
And they are just all the parents are like, you don't need an Xbox. You don't need we're gonna get you. We didn't get you.
AKA, hey, we didn't get one, so you're getting this. But you know what? Nintendo's been doing that for the 3 decades.
Forever.
And that's what makes them so good, because then when those 750,000 units that were sold get into the hands of the people that are going to use it, they all of a sudden realize how fucking unique and amazing Nintendo and their games and system are. Now, I'm not saying everything Nintendo makes is great. No, obviously there's a lot of fucking shit that comes out the other end that's not good. But they have always gone the unique approach
But they're consistent.
to their games, and they're consistent with being unique, which is a very difficult thing to do.
Yes.
You know, so shout out to them for getting on the bandwagon and selling some shit, because every time you guys do it, you just like reinvent your entire company to build the next thing, and I think that's pretty good. I don't really got anything for games. If you played Rogue Company and heard how excited I was, there's a new character, and then the game's dead. So yay for that. They added ranked, game's dead. The one I did hear one upside, and we'll keep it posted. I'm sure I'll touch back on this later in an episode or something. I did hear the devs are no longer looking at what new to update. They're only focusing on what's wrong with the game. So hopefully, we can get back to a fun game to play that isn't busted as shit. But until then, I'm done reviewing you and speaking highly of you. Devs, get on it for Rogue Company. It was a fun 4v4, and now I'm just, unfortunately, I can't play it anymore. So
replay the clip of you getting stuck.
oh god, I don't know. I'm done. No, that one hurts my heart still.
I'm just replaying it in my mind right now.
Yeah, I do all the time when I played it. I don't really have anything for pop culture. There is one thing I'll touch on real quick before we go.
Give it to me.
The Mando. He's back in action. We're 3 episodes in. I actually want to save this for next week, because next week we're gonna have a spoiler episode about all 4 episodes.
We can do that.
Because this is the only spoiler I'm gonna throw out there. Next week's episode, we were introduced to Bo-Katan this episode, and for those that are Star Wars junkies, you know exactly who Bo-Katan is. And next week we are going to get the first live action look at Ahsoka Tano in the Mando. So we are going to do, I think, a a spoiler episode review of all 4 episodes so far. Mike, if you haven't watched them, I highly recommend getting in on this.
Oh, I have.
Okay, I knew you had, because like we've already talked about it. But we will definitely do that next week for pop culture. Since we've already been running this for about a little over 3 hours, and with the election taking up a lot of talk last week, I'm really kind of dead zone polish shit out of luck here. So I'm kind of cool on chilling on politics this week. Unless you got anything for pop culture that you want to throw out there, other than the system war phenomenon.
I actually have a little fun fact about Bo-Katan. Actually, I got a fun fact. The actress,
Yep.
if you are a Star Wars fan, the actress actually reprises her role from Clone Wars. It's
Yep.
same actress, which I love, which I absolutely love.
I love it
because
too.
There are fine actors and actresses out there where people use just their voice for animated series, and when it comes time to make a live action version, instead of using that actor or actress, they use somebody that's pretty, or they use somebody that's more handsome, and they're like, this is an A-list celebrity, we got to put this person in. Just use the person that knows the role best, right? And that's what they did with
And they absolutely did. Yep.
Katie Sackhoff. Yeah, she did wonderful.
She absolutely wonderful. Fun episode. And we'll go more into detail next week about this week's last 2, and then of course next week when we get the first look at Miss Dawson as our live action Ahsoka Tano. So I'm very excited for it, and I can't wait.
That actually, I'm excited for that too. That actually brings up another good point too. That argument. of using A-list celebrities instead of the actual voice actors. I do believe I'm thinking it's Showtime or HBO. I believe it's Showtime. One of the two is developing. Pretty damn excited for it because Paulson and I grew up and thrived on this.
Mm.
Shout out to Bungie as well. They're creating
Oh.
a Halo live action show.
Oh.
Um, and
I'm on board.
there's only one voice. There's only one voice for Cortana. There's only one voice. We've
Correct.
heard this voice through every single
For
Halo
for
game that's
20 years.
ever created.
Yep.
The voice is even used on your computer. If you are
Correct.
not running Linux, if you're not running Mac OS, if you're running Windows,
You
Cortana,
have Cortana on there.
you have Cortana on there. That is Jen Taylor's voice.
Yes.
Jen Taylor
Yes. Is
everybody.
she going to be Cortana for this?
And this is what I'm actually very excited about.
Oh, yes. Yes.
They actually casted two different people. So they casted somebody for Dr. Halsley
Oh,
and
okay.
they casted somebody different for Cortana. But that very same actress that was going to play both Halsley and Cortana, she has conflicts. And so
Oh, tell
in,
me.
in steps Jen Taylor, which I'm very
Yes. You just was
Very, very
that's her voice.
it's
That's her voice. She owns that voice.
I'm very excited for
I'm
that.
very
I'm very
excited for that too.
with today's day and age, technology, all our capabilities. I hope they do Halo right.
I
Oh
do
my
too.
God.
I do too. There's too many times we all sat there and talked about how, hey, I heard Peter Jackson's gonna do a Halo movie. Oh, I heard fucking J.J. Abrams gonna do a Halo movie. For 20 years, we've been hearing about how directors are gonna do a Halo movie. Just give us a Halo series that isn't bad. That's fine. Let's start there. Let's just start there. That's fine.
It's like they only put a single finger in and only pass the first knuckle. They don't even slide the rest in.
Yeah,
You
they
just
didn't. It was just they teased. They teased.
Yeah,
They
they
just
teased.
ring around the rosy. My butthole is very cozy. Just go all the way in.
That's all I got though. That's all I got.
That's all. Yeah, that's all I got. Next week we'll do a 4-episode spoiler review of The Mandalorian so far, season 2. Obviously, we'll have our Dead Zone football. We'll see what goes on with gaming. Probably just update you on how awesome we are at Apex Legends and pretty much any other game we play because that's what we do. Yeet.
Not much on politics because everybody knows what's going on. We know
We have
know
until
what's-
January to wait and see how this is gonna pan out. So
That's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time.
It is a whole lot of time. Trump is still president. There's still a lot that he can do in that time. There is an update too as of recently. He did suggest that Biden has won, but he also reinforced that he is not conceding.
Of course he's not. I told you it's the Wolf of Wall Street all over. He's just, I'm not fucking leaving. He's just not gonna do it. But we'll check in on that story and see how it develops. Obviously, over the next couple episodes, we'll do. And you know what? Before we're done here, a quick reminder: next week's episode will not be at 8 a.m. I repeat again, will not be at 8 a.m. So stay tuned. Check out, my Facebook, Twitch, all of that. I'll have updates moving forward here. But we're going to be doing probably an afternoon or evening show. So Michael and myself and Brett, who unfortunately just wasn't here to join us for whatever reason.
Miss you, Brett.
Yeah, we actually don't have to be up super early. So yes, Cam, I know. We're playing with the idea that every 4 episodes we're gonna do an evening or afternoon show so we can actually get some sleep. Because I went to bed at about 5:15 this morning, and then had to be up at 7:20. So, Daddy can't be doing that all the time.
It'll be fun, Kim. It's gonna be an after dark show. We're both gonna
I'll wear
thongs.
sexy maid outfits and shit.
Yeah, we're gonna play like Cisco thong song in the background. It's gonna be
Yeah,
happening.
100%, 1,000%, 1,000,000% accurate.
Dumps like a truck.
Chuck. As long as you guys do it, I love the pod. Oh, thanks, Cam. I appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody who always joins in and watches and joins and chats with us. But yeah, next week we're gonna do an afternoon or evening. Just stay posted. As always, you can check us out on Podbean. Just look at Flex Luthor's Dead Zone. Just look that shit up. Or again, you can now catch us on Spotify. And soon Apple Music, and I'm hoping Google Music shortly after. But again, just check out Flex Luthor's Dead Zone on Spotify or Podbean to catch any of our latest episodes. And next week we'll do some fun Mando talk and catch up on football.
We'll do some fun Mando talk. We'll do each other. We'll do it all.
We'll do it all. Top to bottom, head to toe. So I appreciate you, Michael, as always. I love you. Thank you for being up early with me this week, even though I really didn't have to prove to my bitch-ass wife that I could be up this early. But in fact, we did anyway. So I appreciate everybody who joined. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everybody in chat. And thanks for joining the Dead Zone. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, Tim. For jumping
Oh,
in.
yeah, before I fucking Tim Vo, shout out Big Sexy. Thank you for fucking being a guest and bullshitting with us. Feel free next week or any other Sunday, especially while football's here, because I'd love to continue to talk some more football with you. Feel free to join chat at any time, brother. It was fucking good fucking hearing from you. And if Wu-Tang ever comes into town and we can go to concerts again, you and I, brother, are going because you were the first person I went and saw Wu-Tang with. So shout out to you and to the Wu. Diversify your bonds. Good night.
Welcome to Flex Luthor's Dead Zone podcast in the morning at 8 a.m. to prove to his bitch-ass wife he can be up that early.
Oh my god,